Warning, the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Coach's Box. This is going to be an interesting episode, I feel, for lots of reasons. I'm with, most of the time, joining me on the show
always,
Jason Jarvis, who's not on camera because he's not centered, but that's okay because it's Jason. He's been eating. That's okay. And we have two special guests that are joining us. We have Coach Bruce Valleroy of the St. Vincent Indians.
Whoa, wow. Did you guys trade spots?
No, we didn't.
We just got recruited.
Ooh, breaking news.
Is he the assistant coach or head coach?
It's been camp week, so I'm used to those conversations. And
wait a minute. I knew he was the assistant coach at St. Pius. Is he going to be the assistant at St. Vincent? Is he going to be the assistant at Pius too?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I've heard. I've heard rumors.
You heard rumors he was an assistant at Vincent?
I couldn't believe it when I heard that Bruce Valleroy. What?
Yeah.
He's actually sitting on the bench. He's not up in the stands. He's not up there. Wait a minute. You go to his place, he's on the score table.
While he's coaching. Do you have is it a remote thing that you have?
Yes.
While you're doing you keep score.
Got it all.
Well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do down there. I mean, you're used to running the whole show yourself. I mean, I got to say that. You ain't like Coach Davis, who had like 17 assistants.
That's true.
Yeah.
Bruce was the show.
He was
no doubt about
When DeSoto came to town, we had to control their fans too because there were so many of them, and they would always sit in our stands. And one night, our fans decided to go sit in their stands, and it was a little rumble. So we took care of that really quick.
You had Perry County finest over there helping out with that.
Oh yes.
Oh well. How many of those guys are you related to? Because I know the officiating crew already had a couple.
It's getting thinner by the year. I could tell you 2 years ago when you beat us at our place, there was none of my relatives that reffed that night.
Oh, that was a first. That was a first.
And look what happened.
Oh, wow, you had a fair shake at Perryville.
Well, no, don't tell Bruce that because he was saying, he's like, oh, those guys, they weren't very good. I'm like, that's the best officiating crew we've had all year.
It's
all games, and especially at St. Vincent.
It's funny you say that. I mean, one year he comes up to my place and he goes, hey, look, aren't you happy I brought my officials with me?
It was nice of him, wasn't it? He was being very considerate.
Yeah, very nice.
I'm glad I got all that power.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, you are Bruce Valleroy.
You got a hell of a lot more power than I do.
I learned from the best next to me.
I mean, haven't you got like Coach of the Year like 8 times or something? I mean,
Wait.
It's every time. He got it every year.
I know, he gets it every year.
That's when you got good players, not the coach.
Well, I don't have good players all the time, but that's all right. But no, hey, I'm glad you guys got to join us. Hey, those other two nerds that usually are on the show, they're not here. You guys are already an upgrade right there. Number one, you guys are probably more personable and funny, and two, you're going to bring more to the show. I mean, Riley doesn't do anything but play on his phone, and Zach, well, is Zach. So... And those other two guys that, are never on the show that you can't even remember their names.
Jim Halley and Kevin Powers.
Hey, by the way, you get your $20 yet?
Not yet, because he hasn't been down to Jefferson County since the last show he showed up to.
Why don't you just tell him to Venmo you the money?
Well,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Venmo. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Send electronically. Hey, Jason was trying to bet Jim that he wouldn't show up on the next show. Put $20 on it, and Jim was supposed to be there up until about 5 minutes.
And Jim didn't fail me, and he didn't show up.
It's just how it goes, man. People say they're going to do something, and they don't do it. Hold through. You guys did. You guys said you'd be here. I didn't tell either one of you guys that the other was going to be here, so this is fun.
Jim's at AD.
Good.
Jim's at AD, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's in meetings right now.
Okay.
He's in meetings.
Yep.
He's important. You
typical AD.
Yeah. They're in meetings. Yep. It's summertime. It's June.
Say one thing, do another.
Yeah.
I got it.
Some of you guys. Yeah. So you guys have. You guys both been ADs. I forgot. Coach, you've been an AD.
Oh, I was there for a short time.
Short time? How long? How many years?
About 8 years.
That's not a short time.
Well,
That's almost a
it
decade.
took them that long to figure me out.
You don't need to do this no more. We're paying you too much to do this.
Oh, yeah.
He had one of the best secretaries, though, in the conference.
That's what I heard.
It was awesome.
I always surround myself around with the best people.
I never called Alan. I called Judy.
That's
I knew
exactly
something was going to get done.
Well, I got to say, I mean, he says he surrounded himself with the best people, and then he hired me working with Grandview. That's when he knew it was the downfall then.
Well, that's when I went downhill.
That's exactly right, man.
I was going to say, I was about to name some of your assistants. I was going to start with them first.
Ouch.
But I guess you were his. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's exactly
It's
right.
kind of like the.
Wait.
No,
Don't you play this game now.
Hey, it was kind of like St. Vincent this
Yeah.
year. I didn't know who was who.
Well, the other guy was always standing. So is that your wins or his wins? That's the question I got to ask for you.
Team wins.
Oh, okay. So when it
Win
comes
as a team.
We don't bring people on for PC, political correct.
Coach
Coaches
loses
speak.
the games, the team wins the games.
that
Players
sounds like
win.
coach speak.
That is coach speak.
Are you talking to the radio or something right now?
No,
Because I don't know who are you.
I've always talked like that.
Players
On
win,
and off the
coaches
rep.
lose.
I've
On
heard
and
that
off
quite
the
a
rep.
bit.
On and off the air, I say.
I've heard that quite a bit. Jim Keeling used to tell me that. He's like, good coaching win you some games 5 minutes left. He's like, you ain't win a lot of those games, have you? It's like, gee, thanks, man. You watched me a few times. Did you?
Wow.
You gonna go over topics? You gonna bring something to the show?
No, I did. I even contributed a couple questions that I thought I'd ask, but I didn't know where we wanted to start.
Wherever you want, Jason. Is that like you're paying?
I kind of like I like the first one that was in the text group. Coach Davis, I'll start with you. I'll ask you this question.
Oh, thanks.
This ought to be a good one. You've had a few of these. How did you handle the diva athletes back in the day? The divas, the one that just it couldn't do no wrong. His parents couldn't do no wrong. Just the diva.
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to hear any coach speak from you. Let's go ahead. Just fire away.
Honestly?
Now you can tell who this question came from.
I got. I want.
Yeah, go ahead. Call him out. Call him out. Who do you think it was?
The person who made that thing up?
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to be Zach McVey.
That's Zach McVey.
Zach McVey.
100%
all
Zach
over
McVey.
it. He's all over that diva. Coaches don't even use that freaking word. Come on. Diva. Are you kidding me?
I agree with you. I don't know.
Well, he coached girls.
This is the new generation, I guess.
Yeah, there
my
you go.
fault. Thank you for straightening me out.
Yep.
I remember telling one parent to he brought his box of medals in from AAU, and I told him where to put them. That was one. I told him one time.
Seriously brought his medals in from
Yeah.
AAU.
Yep. I had one parent. I told a kid, if this isn't going to work, you need to move to Pius. Maybe it'll work for you over there. Bring your parents in. So
Boy, Chris would love that.
I always had parent meetings, and we worked it out before that. And if we didn't, they generally moved
Man, they moved to greener pastures.
and moved to better places.
Now, I hear sometimes it's not as green as people think on the other side, but, I mean, Valleroy, how have you dealt with players like that?
Well, if they could play, they're going to play. If they don't, they set the bench. It's pretty well. My philosophy was,
You hear that past tense,
no,
Coach?
it's
It sounds
not
like
the
past
Coach
tense.
anymore, Jay.
That's the way I still do it. I mean, if you can play, you're going to play. If you can't,
I'll be honest with you. When I went down to Park Hills, everybody said all these kids are this and that and whatever. We had one little incident, and I'm telling you what, that's probably the best group I've ever worked with. And they all said they were prima donnas and whatever. They had a lot of talent. They did have a lot of talent. Very talented kids. But they busted it and did everything I asked. So, I mean, I think if you're up front and tell the kids up front this is the way it is, and they know you mean it, yeah, no problem. But now, in today's world where you got to beg and borrow a kid to do it or barter to get a kid to do something, oh, that's just unreal. I don't know how you guys do it. That begging and bartering is crazy.
Well,
crazy.
You see, I'm trying to get kids, to show up for some summer stuff. So
it's amazing some of the reasons I've gotten for not showing up.
oh yeah, what's some of yours?
Well, I don't know, maybe baseball is a big one with me. But, there's just all kinds of reasons. Had to babysit the dogs. I heard that one today.
What?
Yeah, I heard that one today. I had to babysit the dogs. Now, that was actually a football guy, not a basketball guy. But, it all relates. My grandmother had me come over and help her in the garden. I mean, I've gotten, so many excuses.
That's the best one I think I've ever heard. My grandma told me they'd come help in the garden.
Yeah.
How would you handle that, Coach? Coach Davis, go ahead. I'd ask the former coach. Oh, wait. I'm not sure. You're still on the fence if you're still coaching.
Still coaching.
I saw I saw him assisting the girls.
He still does everything down there.
Yeah, I helped a couple of weeks ago up here at Hillsboro. With the girls one night. And so, yeah.
And his assistant or / head coach or whatever was coaching the girls, and he was on the bench with them.
Oh, and he also runs a concession stand.
I've seen him. I've seen him get stuff at the concession stand.
You get there early, and he's in the concession stand getting those pizzas ready and getting everything going. He's a very talented individual.
When I went and watched my daughter,
Thank you.
Oh, that's great.
I went and watched my daughter play down there at St. Vincent this year, and he was running the clock, I think.
Oh, he's been running the clock for 30 years.
Well,
come on.
That night the AD had a meeting, another meeting, and
Another
he asked me to keep the clock. So that was just the one night you happened to see me in the gym.
Of course, and so we were getting hosed every which way.
Hey,
the clock operator, everything.
I heard it was going to be called St. Valroy's.
It must be.
St. Valroy.
St. Valroy's. They forget the St. Vincent. It's St. Valroy's.
You have a statue out there.
Oh my gosh, that's what I'm going to start calling it from now on.
Hey.
That is awesome.
Hey.
St. Valroy.
Well, if I was still coach, I could put that on my schedule. St. Valroy's.
New
You
ideas.
get away with everything, so you would have got away with that.
Oh man.
AD or not, you still would get away with it.
My.
Never happened, right?
That's why you were the dean of the Jefferson County for years.
Yeah.
The man.
Well, it cost me a lot of money to own the leader. That's a big chunk of change to be a part owner.
Man, Hayes got a lot of money from you, huh?
Well, that's my brother. Now, easy there.
Well, wait a minute. Ever since he stopped coaching, there hasn't been hardly any coverage here for the rest of us.
That's one of the reasons I quit coaching. Without Warren Hayes there, no one's doing it.
I'm just saying.
That guy that got now is ridiculous. I'm not sure he knows sports. I mean, back then they would really get into some conversation.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, they came into your locker room. They come in your locker room anymore?
No.
Oh, they couldn't come to games. Oh, that's right. They just look on Huddle or something.
Hey, they come up to Jason right after the game and shove a microphone in his face right after he loses the game.
What game was that?
I don't know, but you were pissed.
Oh, my.
I was like, can I get 2 seconds?
Excuse me?
And he was like, we just lost on like a buzzer beater or something. And you got the mic in my face. I might say something I shouldn't. So
he's looking for a scoop, man.
Oh, it's not me. I've said plenty I shouldn't.
Well, some of us can get away with that. Some of us can't.
Hey, the best one I said was the pink panties after a game, and I got caught, and I kind of stayed away from the thing. Well, they asked me after the Park Hills tournament, blah, blah, blah. What happened? You're supposed to be so good, blah, and you lost. Well, hey, if we took our pink panties off, we might have won the damn game.
You said
I can't
that
take
on the
them off
radio?
for him. I
That
can't
was
take them
awesome.
off.
Oh, my.
Oh my gosh, I'd have been fired on the spot.
I don't worry. I've been threatened. I've been written up.
Hey, a lot of times we're at practice and, coach is running a drill and he kind of look at me and he goes, these are things you can't say.
I'm not that smart. I can't think of that stuff during an interview.
Well, I practiced it.
Oh,
I put a lot of time in front of the mirror and practiced it.
I would probably fall over if I heard Valleroy getting interviewed and he said that I couldn't take their pink panties off for him.
Oh, my
I would
gosh.
fall over.
Well, wait, is there something wrong with that nowadays?
Yeah.
I'm sure it is, yes.
It's frowned
sure
upon.
I mean,
It's frowned upon.
Wait, what's the date? June? Okay.
So you guys are telling me when I go home, my wife's going to be chewing me out?
Well, I mean, I don't know. My wife wouldn't be thrilled about me talking about pink panties, but I mean, whatever.
Me neither. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not smart enough to think of that.
This is going to turn into the T-ball thing, or T-bag thing.
No teabag conversation.
Wait. He mentioned T-ball. Don't mention T-ball.
Oh, you love baseball, don't you?
Oh, after I left here that last time you were talking about that baseball, I thought, well, I'd go watch my grandson play a little T-ball.
How was it?
It was not good. I took over.
I mean, I can see that happening.
What kind of a T-ball guy is going to put 20 kids behind home plate and say, we're going to run the bases? Okay, then by the time number 8 gets up to run, he's already fell asleep. 9, 10, and 11 are playing in the dirt, throwing rocks, and they're running these kids around. I mean, I had to divide them up and put 5 kids on home, 5 on first, and every time we touch a base, we're going to holler out that base number. I mean, and we're going to high five. I mean, talk about, I don't know why kids would play T-ball.
Because Dad's coaching.
I mean, well, then I made a mistake because this one kid was playing in the dirt, doing a little circle job, trying to keep ants contained in this moat, I guess. So I looked at him and I said, hey, Roman, what's the deal here? Do you see anybody else playing in the dirt? He looks around, no. Get in the athletic stance and watch the game. Well, here come that parent out of the stands. That didn't go well. That's when I heard that little begging and bartering.
I wish I could have been there for this.
I know. Why isn't somebody recording this?
I went to that St. Louis South area, Lindbergh, where you got to be careful, I guess. I mean, dang.
Man, you went past the Merrimack.
I crossed the river, buddy.
That's your first mistake.
I know.
These the parents nowadays don't know the legend like they did back in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Well, I think it just goes even deeper than just that kind of thing. It's just the fact that it's that everybody gets a trophy mentality kind of crap.
Oh, it's crazy. They all walk out there and they're trying to kick up dust like they've never seen dirt before. Well, get them out of the daggum house and throw them outside and let them play in the dirt. They're all kicking up dust. I'm going like this. I can't even see where the kids are at. And I'm like,
how bad was it when they threw the ball and stuff?
Oh, I made a mistake there too, Jay.
They're not supposed to throw it?
I told them, because they hit the ball or off the tee stand, no one stands there. I said, okay, act like you're piranhas. Well, that didn't go over well. So I said, okay, because piranhas is over their head. I mean, that's crazy. So I said, hey, we're all going to be baby sharks. Now they got that part.
Because they start singing.
And then they all run to get the ball. And then here's where I made a mistake. I said, look, we're going to throw it to first. This little kid gets the ball and throws it to first. I forgot. They can't catch. So this kid's going like this, and the ball hits him in the head, and here's more parents like, what are you doing out there?
This is the best ever.
T-ball is not for me.
Oh my gosh, I would have loved to.
It would be like a reality TV show.
It was a nightmare. So they asked me, are you going to come back next week?
Wait, it was so bad they were yelling. I said, do you want to come back? That's the best part. Do you want to come back?
Wait, did that guy have a background check out there? Now we worry about background checks. We worry about what we're saying. That's why I'm not coaching. That's why Bruce is the assistant. This ain't that
Oh, man. This is the best ever.
Hey, you love this, don't you? Because I told you. Hey, and just so everybody knows, I asked, since I knew we had 2 guys who weren't going to be on the show because they're always gone and doing stuff, other stuff.
I mean, they're on these fantastic
voyages, vacations, whatever they're doing, living the life.
I love I love how Blair takes a vacation, and it's not even dead week yet, and he's taking a vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a Pepsi guy. He can do that.
Oh,
he's got the Pepsi Zero money. So, yeah.
We had to get some people on the show.
We had to get some guys who are legit.
The Herky girls are so good. Do they really need a coach?
The Herky girls?
They're so good. They don't really need a coach.
Well, I mean, they got one player that's pretty good. I mean,
she don't even start.
Last name Jarvis.
She don't even get to start.
Oh, that's what I said.
Yeah.
That's why he's on vacation, I guess.
He's trying to hide from you, I guess.
No, we got another girl. They got a couple girls that can play.
Yeah. You should have started your daughter last year, though.
He did, partly.
Sometimes.
I'm not on the girls' staff, so I mean, my kids only get to play because of me. So
you should have met a meeting with the AD.
No.
Why? I think the AD would have decided in your favor.
Maybe.
Oh, that was a political answer. I've ever seen one. Whoa!
I doubt that. I don't know that he really sides in my favor on a lot of things.
Oh, no.
Whatever.
We have some of the best. We have some of the best athletic directors in this conference, and I'll tell you right now, these two guys right here, I mean, you guys are two of the best, right?
Well, I'm sure.
Look at him.
What would you think?
I have a feeling the football coaches didn't say that about them.
I didn't have no problem.
Didn't have no problems. This is the schedule. Live with it.
Now, the question is Bruce, you've coached and done everything at St. Vincent. So
St. Valleroy.
That's not going away anytime soon. Just so you know. And when I send you film or anything, or anybody sends, I'm going to put St. Valleroy on the film title.
Well, we used to always say Fighting Valleroys.
That's
Remember,
true.
you did say that all the time.
A few times.
Got to play the Fighting Valleroys at the Fighting Valleroy Stadium.
Well, that's an all-encompassing thing that you could,
I mean, that includes refs, officials,
players, score clock,
everything.
Yeah,
The Fighting Valleroys.
Usually officials and refs are the same thing.
It's
I
like,
know.
Well, I mean, it's like going and trying to fight everybody's family reunion is what it felt like when you trying to go down there and play. But anyway, I'm just saying, what?
Well, at least you've won down there. I've never done that.
Oh, it was luck. Trust me, because one of my kids didn't understand when I said foul in the timeout. Listen, when they get across half court, we're going to foul because we're up 3, and we let the kid catch it and literally lean almost to the backcourt. We're standing next to him, and we didn't foul him. As I'm yelling foul, it could have been halfway out on the court. Al McVey wasn't going to call a technical on me for being halfway out on the court either, yelling at my kid to foul. We found his kid, and they found his kid who hit a 3, and that's why we went into double overtime. We should have won in first overtime. Actually, he should have won, but, we decided to hit a shot. But
that was a backboard shot, wasn't it?
No.
Oh,
It's straight in.
straight in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a good play call. Hey, leave her open. Go ahead and shoot it.
His assistants did a good play drawing that up.
And my assistants were over there scared to death to say anything. No. Here's the best one.
And then he wonders why he's hired new assistants every year. He can't keep anybody.
Well, that's right, man. Hey, level of excellence is here. No, Zach's not here. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait, hey. He busts my chops all the time. Here's what I will tell you. Zach tells me, because we always argue this. I said, listen, we're up 3. We need to foul. And he's like, I don't agree with that. And I said, okay, well, we're going to foul. And he's looking at me when that timeout. I said, of course, I'm telling the wrong kid. That's my fault.
It?
Yeah,
Okay.
we do stuff like that. We talk about it.
Okay, I'm just asking.
We practice. We got time for that. We got other stuff to do. Practice that.
Okay.
No, but apparently it wouldn't matter if we did practice it. Wouldn't matter if we did practice it because we sit there and tell him, and then he gets out and he goes, I don't think we should do that. And then as soon as he hits that shot, Willie hits the shot, I turn and looked at him and I'm like, and that's why we do it.
See,
he didn't say a word the rest of the game.
I'm pretty sure he didn't say nothing the rest of the year, maybe.
And you wonder why a guy not coaching anymore.
No, I love Zach. Zach's great.
He's coaching T-ball. I mean baseball.
Hey, he's coaching baseball. They're doing well over there with baseball.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't say nothing. He must be
they
helping
scored
out.
like 6 in one inning to beat us. We had them beat and screwed it up. I don't coach baseball either, though. So.
No, my question is Bruce, what things have you not coached? Like, can we make a list of things you have not coached?
Have you coached soccer?
I've been to practice. Had to practice with him before. Never had to coach in any games.
Okay, so that counts. That counts. See?
I mean, I was
Counts.
the head football coach for 5 years. I was head
that
baseball
counts.
for 3 years.
Yep.
I had to coach a freshman volleyball game one night
Now
because
you've
our
been a
coach
volleyball
couldn't
coach.
get there on time.
Coach volleyball.
Of all places, at DeSoto, our coach couldn't get to the bus in time, so
St. Valleroy.
I rode the bus.
They
up
did
to
not
DeSoto
want to
and coached
show
them.
up. So it's like, listen, I don't want to go to DeSoto. It's like,
St. Valleroy, just like I said.
there you go.
I did coach girls basketball for like 3 weeks because one of our coaches, her sister got in a terrible car accident and got paralyzed, so she was gone. And our assistant coach had ACL surgery, so she couldn't coach. So I coached them for 3 weeks, and then I've been the boys'
He's coached
coach.
everything. How many sports do you guys have down there?
Probably track's about the only thing I've not done.
You haven't done track?
And cross country, probably.
Oh, man. I've coached track.
Yeah.
So I've got like one on you.
I've coached track.
Been a head track coach.
1 year.
How'd that go?
It's my first year teaching. I've never coached it since. They had me coaching the throwers, and I've never thrown a shot and disc in my life.
No, wait, Jason, I got a better one. I was asked, instead of being an assistant baseball coach, to be the head track coach at Sturgeon. And I said, well, we don't even have a track. And it's like, yeah, well, you also threw a baseball and hit a kid in the nuts. So do you want to be the head? Do you want to be assistant baseball coach, or do you want to be head track? I go, yeah, I'll do head track. It's more money too. Did I ever tell you that story? What happened?
No.
Oh.
You hit a kid in the nuts with a baseball?
I did.
Why would you do that?
On the other team. So you know,
What?
like, listen. Let me draw it out for you. So we were playing North Callaway, and they're a varsity team. They had a kid who was a stud. He actually got drafted by Major League Baseball, so they beat us in 10, and we had a pretty good team. And so we played the 3 innings of JV. So we got a kid who's a junior, is a catcher playing JV, and he's a great kid, not a very good catcher, and always wore sunglasses behind a catcher's mask kind of thing. And so when the kids come and bring you foul balls, and they shag the foul balls, give it to you, you're waiting. One of our pitchers walks a kid, and I step out of the dugout because it was a step down like this, and I showed the ball, and the kid goes, shakes his head, holds the glove up. And as I'm stepping out, I toss it, and the kid just watches it, turns his head, and another kid's walking into the batter's box, and he walks right in, and it just hits him right square in the nads. And the kid doubles over, he's laying on the ground, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting fired. And the head baseball coach, who was our AD, he's in the corner of the dugout just laughing so hard, because I'm like freaking out. They had to take him. He didn't get to play. That was his only time he's going to get to play. They carried him off the field. I mean, it wasn't a line drive. I tossed it. It had air time.
Oh, so it fell.
It fell from the
Well,
sky.
that's Chris's story.
No, 100%. I am not
If he had to be
exaggerating.
carried off, it probably, Mr. Baseball, since you coach baseball.
Since you coach baseball,
do
right?
you think there's a lob that hit him in the nuts to put him in the hospital?
Boy, that'd be awful tough.
Because I heard about this kid. He had to go to the hospital for a couple of weeks. I mean,
You haven't been out of Jefferson County. That's way past.
This is the story is printed in the Columbia Star. I think I remember reading that.
I think the radar detector had it at 95.
See,
Columbia
It might have
Tribune.
had it at 9 kilometers per hour.
With that kind of arm, you could pitch for the Cardinals.
So the coach comes over later and he goes, "Hey, listen, don't feel bad. I told that kid he should be wearing a cup, and he doesn't ever want to. And this is the thing that's going to definitely make sure he does." Because he goes, "Listen, you guys need to wear cups." The kid's like, "I don't wear a cup." He's like, "I told him. Now you just helped me prove my point. Thanks, coach." He thanked me for hitting his kid.
I'm sure that kid never thought an assistant coach on the other team would hit him.
No, I don't think you show up to a baseball game and thinking that guy over there, he's gonna hit me in the balls
He's
today.
out to hit me.
He's going to throw a fastball and knock me right in the
And if that was a fastball, I got problems, man.
I can't believe how much baseball we've talked already.
I know.
And,
Oof.
and
Yeah, did Chris Hayden get baseball South Iron when you were there?
Yeah, it was something to do to get out of farm work.
Oh, okay, just checking.
We had 4 coaches in 4 years. We sucked. Our pitcher led the conference in ERA, and we lost every single game we played every year because of errors.
well, I'm surprised you're not like
here
coaching
goes.
baseball to get out of that farm work now.
You know what, Jason? You
'Cause
actually bring up a really good
You're
point.
probably still doing the same farm work,
Pretty close.
except more.
It's a lot harder now.
Yeah.
I set some T-posts out there the other day, and it was like 100 degrees.
I wouldn't even think about doing that.
I wish I would have found out that I needed to do that before I got down there, and then about the time I'm down there and
could have
getting settled
mentally
in.
prepared and
No, I
everything?
mean I could have got up at like 3:30 in the morning and got down there by 5, watched the sun get up, set some T-posts, and feel better about myself. No, we're going to do it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's what I did today. I
Sounds
set
like
about
great
200
planning.
feet of wire
There
today.
you know, you did it.
Oh yeah,
You.
me and my little hired buddy.
There you go.
Yeah, so
I
you
know how that works.
weren't hitting that T driver.
I had to do a couple because it was so hard. He couldn't get it in there, so I had to show him a little bit of.
kind of like the cows.
I knew that was coming.
He could get in there, so I stepped
I stepped-
right into that.
I stepped right up to the plate.
Well, you sure did. It's like
Son, let me tell
Both
you.
hands.
Let me tell you right here. 2 hands.
he grabbed that driver.
And all right,
Talk
we're
about
gonna
jack of all trades. Right there's a guy, jack of all trades.
Oh no!
literally.
Jack is right.
Jason, send us a break. We got to take one.
Hey, you are watching the Coach's Box with 2 living legends right here tonight. Please come back and watch segment number 2 coming up.
I'm the latest hashtag challenge. and everyone on social media is trying me. I'm trending so hard that hashtag common sense can't keep up.
This is gonna get tens and tens of views. But if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, you could be left to pay for this yourself.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
For 24 years, really enjoyed being a basketball coach. When I retired from coaching, I decided that I wanted to get back into the media world. I look at it from more of a coach's point of view. I love to showcase guests. I love to tell their stories, not just locally and regionally, but nationally as well. Joe Namath, Kurt Warner, Patrick Ewing, Katie Smith. Not just talk about their accolades, but what they have given back to the game, what they've given back as leaders in their community. And I want people to be able to listen to my show and to be able to take that into their life. They're going to be able to live their life like a champion. That's a show right there that I feel like is worth listening to.
All right, everybody, welcome back to our second segment of the Coach's Box. If you're still with us, if you haven't decided that you don't like our story time, our story time's been fun. It's been good stuff. Good stuff.
I think maybe I can get a couple stories out of the next question I want to ask.
Well, there we go.
And I think I'm going to ask Bruce first.
Thank you.
There we go.
All right. So, Bruce, who, between the two of you, because believe it or not, you guys have had some home court advantage.
This is the home court advantage episode, by the way.
So who, between the two of you, would you say had the best home court advantage? You or him and Slick Rick and all the other people?
Easy.
Go ahead.
I'd say the pit was the best place for a basketball game. That's the atmosphere. I mean, I'm telling you, it was.
Notice how he's setting it up to the atmosphere.
Oh my God! I mean, your crowds, your student body was the best of anybody around by far, home or away. I mean, Nothing against our student body. I mean, we had some great fans too, but I don't think anything topped DeSoto's. I mean, their kids went on the road to away games and supported their program and everything. I mean, it was fun to play at the pit, even though they had some great teams.
So you're saying he had a better home court advantage than you?
Yes. You don't agree, I know.
No, I went to the pit. I watched my brother play at the pit. I watched.
The only difference is, I mean, our goals were 10 foot.
Are you talking about the one on the stage?
I'm not sure, Bruce. That one is 10 foot.
The one that's not attached to the ceiling?
Well, the one that, I don't know, it vibrates or I don't know. I can't figure it out. I think it's pointed the wrong direction, honestly.
I think it's got a little tilt to it. A little tilt to it.
Is that right?
Is it?
It does shake a lot.
We don't have it anymore. We redid our gym a few years back, and it ain't attached from the ceiling anymore.
I know, but you're avoiding the issue. Did you ever measure that?
Yeah.
Be honest.
It was 10 foot.
No.
10 foot one or two?
We couldn't dunk on it, so I can tell you we didn't lower it or anything.
That's great.
10 foot two, you think?
So you shot there the second half, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you had to score a lot of points the first half. If not,
well, I figured at halftime you went up there and took a little crank and cranked the front of the rim up a little bit so when you win.
Possibility.
Possibility.
If it wasn't me, it was my cousins or brother or somebody.
Oh, maybe it was probably the refs in their secret room over there.
Yeah.
Oh, because they were looking through the window to see if you're pregame dunking. I remember that one. I do remember that one. I'm like, there's no referees out here. Go ahead and tear it down. And I'll be damned here. They come around. Whoa, yeah. Because Bruce went in there and told them.
I'm so glad he brought that up. Why are we like one of the only states that make a big deal about that?
It's Missouri.
It's Missouri. I'll go with that.
Anything to ruin sports.
Or even shooting at halftime.
Yeah, you don't see it in Texas.
Where the varsity can't go out and shoot at the JV halftime. Yeah. That's a rule too. That a lot of schools won't let you go out and do it.
That's right.
It's a rule.
Yep.
But
it's all about no fun, man.
That's a rule we need to start enforcing.
Right.
I mean, I'll let my kids go out, but yeah.
I think that dunking all before a game has atmosphere to it. I used to like it. Vashon come in, I'd tell him tear the goals down. I don't care. I mean, if you want to develop atmosphere and enthusiasm in your programs, that's the way to do it.
I've always wondered why, because a lot of states that you don't get a technical for that. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Coach. I think they should let them do it. I mean, why not? What's it going to hurt?
Well,
what's it going to hurt?
I can tell you right away what they're going to tell you. Yeah. Safety. Afraid somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah,
somebody's going to get hurt, or what happens like if you shatter the backboard, then you can't play.
Hey, I don't see Daryl Dawkins anywhere out there. Okay, we're not talking about those kind of guys. Those are men.
We are in Missouri. I don't know why we worry about it.
That's true. It's like, oh, that guy. He popped the rim hard.
So
okay.
He brought up safety. That brings me up to that rule change.
Which one?
The rule change about the block out, the one-on-one. Do you think that was about safety?
We haven't had you on. We had Coach on and we talked about it.
But we didn't have rules.
That definitely takes strategy out of the ball game late in the game. You foul somebody, you only got 7, 8, 9 team fouls. They missed that 1-and-1. You come down and score. Now you're giving them 2 shots, and the odds are they're going to make at least one of those 2.
Yeah, so if I thought
it's going to be tough when you're behind. If you're down 8 or 10 points for a couple
you're going
minutes
after a 3-pointer now. I think you're going to be going at. I was talking with somebody out in Kansas City about this. I think you're actually going to be looking, instead of saying, hey, when they miss 1 to 2 or whatever, they miss the front of a 1-on-1, you're going down and trying to push it and get a quick 2. I think you're going to be looking for a 3 more often now because you got to make up that gap because they're probably going to make one out of those 2.
Well, yeah, I thought about some games I had this year where we had to foul or where you had to foul us. You fouled the crap out of us in the fourth quarter. And so I had to get kids that could shoot free throws in because it was getting close.
And my great assistant's like, hey, foul that freshman. Shut up. He's
that was so funny.
Elks hoop shoot
that
champion.
Might have been one of the best little combos between him and this. Right in the middle of our game, I put in Duncan, the freshman, and because I needed free throw shooters, and the kids won like the Elks free throw contest, blah blah blah.
You can shoot.
So I put him in there, and I hear McVey say to him, "We got to foul the freshman. We got to foul the freshman." And I turn and I am laughing, and I'm like, "Go ahead." And Chris is like, "We can't foul him."
And of course, we foul him. He knocks both down. Because
the first one was shaky, but he did hit both of them.
Yeah, big game. We lost by 2. It was bad coaching.
I think the end of games are really going to be different. And I worry about dude, we've gotten 5 fouls pretty quick in some games.
And that's going to be another thing. What if both teams have 5 fouls right off the bat? You're going to shoot 3 throws forever.
Are we telling the officials that we got to let them play a little bit more so we don't make the game 7 hours long? I mean, that's the question,
and that worries me, too. Are they going to call fouls? After 5 fouls, they may be saying,
wait, I know where they're going to call fouls at.
The whistle. At DeSoto or at Pius.
Come on.
I don't like fouls. I just assume let them play.
Hey, what's funny is I said to you, when you go to St. Vincent, you already got 10 fouls before you walk in the gym. I walk in the gym, he's got 10 fouls on the scoreboard on our side. He
asked for it, so I gave it to him.
You did. It was
he
great.
Walked in the gym, and I said, you got 10 fouls already.
I mean, if you play it real hard, man-to-man, and I've been able to the last 2 years, you do foul a lot more. I mean, it's just you're going to foul more. And now, I mean, there was a couple games we had 5 fouls in the span of a minute.
Play a lot more zone, I guess.
Oh,
no. Oh, yeah, boys, you better. Hey, that's why Bruce is on the show, probably. You guys need to learn a lesson about a 1-3-1.
Now, wait a minute. They played man-to-man. We
whooped them when he played the 1-3-1, and then they beat us.
Are you slipping?
They beat us.
We mixed it up a little bit last year.
Okay, thank you.
Wait.
And I knew they were going to go.
Wait, who's we? Who made that decision?
Ooh.
The program.
I hear you're the general manager now.
Oh, my. Well, I mean, he did.
General manager, part-time coach?
I did see him at the girls' summer league.
Hey, I heard he beat everybody in the summer league.
He beat Blair.
The girls did.
Yeah.
He beat the almighty Riley Blair in girls basketball.
He's going to win against Riley Blair.
Oh, wow.
It's hard to do that, I hear.
And
Jefferson County.
And Tim Winkler when he was at Meadow Heights now. So we won 3 games that night against the Legends.
Yeah, he was all happy about that. All these girls coaches.
So I heard. It got back to me. I was like, "Well, you mean to tell me Bruce was coaching girls?"
Wait a minute, he's not coaching boys anymore, so now he's going to go to girls.
Oh my God!
Hey, let's helping out one night.
He's going to go back to his.
No.
I mean, I didn't see you standing up quite as much. I was worried about your knees.
Oh no,
3-0.
3-0 that night. The varsity girls.
I think down there in St. Vincent, they'll be crying for you to take over the girls' program.
Oh no,
St. Valleroy.
Our girls' program in good shape right now. They have got everybody coming back, and they won 20-some games last year.
Wait, is he still the AD or something? What is this?
Are you deflecting? Because I mean, you got a lot coming back too.
We lost 7 seniors.
Yeah, but your JV won like 20 games.
But we'll start probably 2 seniors, 1 junior, and 2 sophomores this year. That'll be the least amount of experience we've had in a long time.
You guys are going to be
and we're only going to have 14 kids in the program.
They've been playing.
They've been
playing select ball over in Chester.
9 through 12.
9 through 12. We'll only have 14 kids out.
Man, you keep running them off, or
I don't know.
Maybe they're upset about you sitting down all the time at the games now.
Oh no. Everything's fine.
I was upset.
I was too.
I said, this is so weird. I asked him if he was okay health-wise because I thought maybe he was sick.
There had to be something wrong.
He was taking a break.
Had to be.
Taking a break. Hey, are you ever going to get a whiteboard?
No, because the marker, I break the marker too bad when I press down. So we'll just do the pencil and paper yet. That's the best remedy.
We got to go back to St. Vincent this year and play.
Not us, thank God.
We're back there now.
But he'll just bring his rest with him. But go ahead.
Question. Is the heat fixed in the locker room?
Oh, no.
No.
And
nope, it was ice cold.
Are you supplying the chalk, or do I need to bring my own?
I will have the chalk for you. You just have to remind me.
I hate that freaking place.
I just bring my dry erase board down there.
When I was the AD, I always had chalk down there. So
I just bring my dry erase board.
But I will have some chalk for you.
Okay.
Or I wrote on their mirrors is what I did most of the time.
I've done that too. Now, I will say this. We did make a big mess in your locker room. I have to apologize. Last time we were in there, the kids were tossing water.
Well, don't happen much.
We were celebrating.
They couldn't believe it.
We were celebrating.
They were still.
They won. We played for the conference championship.
That was the conference championship.
Game.
Yeah. 3 overtimes.
Oh, wow.
It was a long night.
Wow.
I can't believe that some of our officials in that game made it through the extra.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they had a rough morning the next day.
I will say that. It was a fun game.
It was intense. It was a good game.
Yeah, I saw it on film.
Wrong team won, but other than that, it was a good game.
I mean, that's unusual down there.
It is. Did you ever lose any games down there, Coach?
I don't know. I don't remember them.
I do.
Well,
We had you on the ropes a couple times.
Did we?
Oh yeah, in 2000.
Did we ever lose?
Look, he
I
remembers
remember
it.
this.
The game you won 3 times and we finally won it the last time?
Well, whatever you want to say.
Whatever that was.
We gave you 3 shots in the
Did
last
they
5
add
seconds.
time on
is
the
all
clock?
I know.
Did they put time on the clock? Please tell this story.
No,
This
Bruce
is why we
better.
put it.
He's better memory than I have. Go ahead, Bruce.
We're up 2 with
I
about
think he's
7
told
seconds
this
to go,
before.
and you had the ball at midcourt. You threw it down to the corner. Kid shot, missed it. Ball went out to the elbow. Kid shot it, missed it. You got the offensive rebound, and we fouled you with 0.1 second to go, and you made it. And you made a 3 throw and beat us 63-62.
But didn't you
And
say
you were
no
sweating
bucket?
that night. The
No,
only
didn't you
night
say-
you ever sweated was that night.
Didn't you say no bucket, made us do it again?
No, that was not us. That
was
was
a different
Crystal
time.
City and DeSoto Girls years ago.
No, I think you did.
No,
it too.
no, we never had that situation.
We didn't?
No.
I thought I had to win one like 5 times that we under
No,
one
and
time.
then one year we had you beat 2, and I think a WOB 29-27 final, I think. You guys
Really?
were okay that year. And we
Did you say
wasn't.
29, 27?
It was a low-scoring game, maybe 39-37. It was really low-scoring.
You mean to tell me that that's all the points? And you talk about scoring all these points? You let
I
that
want to say
happen?
it was like 2007, 2008, something
they were
like that.
offensive. They were a defensive club down there. I'm telling you, they were tough.
Wait, was that the year that you guys played the worst state championship game I ever watched?
That was 2005 where we beat them at their place. That was the last year of the pit.
That's that one boy's coaching at
Armbruster.
no,
Burster,
the boys at
whatever.
CBC football.
No, that was Pingo back in 1994, 95.
94?
First year we were in the conference.
Oh, he
Yeah.
wasn't 205.
No, that was Armbruster,
Oh, okay.
our point guard. Yeah,
I remember that. It was at my
yeah,
place in the new
yeah.
gym.
No, it was at the pit. We were still at the pit that year.
Wow.
That was the last
See
year
how
of the
much
pit.
I know. I forget.
Hey,
It was funny because in the conference, when we started the conference in 94, 95, you were like 55-0 against the small schools. And Crystal City beat you on a
remembers
Friday night, and then we came up and beat you on a Tuesday night. You didn't have your son and the Bash kid.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
My
And you
son
came
broke
out in
his
a 2-3 zone.
Yeah.
And did not come out.
You ran a 2-3 zone?
And did not come out of the paint. Did not come out of the paint.
look on his face.
In the first quarter, we kept jacking up threes, and I'm like, will somebody dribble in to see if they'll even guard us? And one of our kids dribbled in and shot a 10-footer and made it, and you didn't even guard us. And then we got the lead late in the
good
game.
coaching.
We got the lead late in the game.
Poor coaching.
And we spread it out, and you had to come out and play man, and Armbruster dribbled around and shot a layup. You called a timeout. You met him at midcourt and said, if I get one more person give up a layup, we're practicing at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. We come back down, we run the same play. Armbruster shoots a layup. You call timeout at midcourt and said, I'll see you at 6 o'clock tomorrow. And you went and sat down. And we ended up beating you that year.
Hey, Bruce, do you have to tell every damn?
Oh, that's in one of the highlights. That's a top 10 Coach Valleroy highlight.
One of my worst times was we played, I think it was Herky. And I don't know who it was coaching back then, but we practiced after the game. I got in trouble over that too. That was not a smart move.
This
and
goes
we
back-
won the game, but we still had to practice because we just didn't play well.
I'm going to chalk that up on, hey, Chris, remember, these are things you can't say
know.
or do. Right here.
So now you guys realize I'm not coaching anymore now.
Oh, yeah, you can say what you want now.
There's
It's
a
all
reason
over.
why.
There's no statute of limitations. You're fine.
Our kids in the huddle's like, is he serious? I said, guys, he is dead serious. And there will be no basketballs in the gym tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. It will be all defensive drills.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you do not give up a layup in DeSoto.
Yeah. I mean, I was bad.
So,
I had a 6'7" kid late for practice back in whenever, late for practice, and I cut him. And we went to the quarterfinals with 6 kids. I should have kept him. He was my starting point, left-handed point guard.
Yeah.
He was late for practice. He tried to give me a story that he was sick, some kind of sob thing. No, they ain't cutting him. We'd lock the doors up. If they were late, lock the doors. They didn't get in. They'd be banging on the doors to come in. Once you came in, they locked them so you couldn't get out. That's another thing. I've had kids try to get out. Get away from this freak. Get him out of here.
And then we almost had him beat Brian Bourbon's senior year.
Yeah.
We had you beat at your place. We had the lead at halftime, and he had no points at halftime. We put out a box and one, and we just clamped wherever he was at. We clamped on him. Even when he was on defense, we had our guys.
I'm just really surprised that you ran a box and one. I don't see you junking anybody up, Bruce.
We did that night until the end.
Bruce coming out.
Spoken like the true guy.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, hey,
Mr. Junk.
Whatever works, man. I don't even care. I don't care.
That was, I mean, we knew we had to shut him down just to have a chance because he was a very good ball player.
So he was good.
He was very good.
Yeah. So, Coach Davis, do you agree then that you had the best advantage then?
When you came to the pit, I had the advantage. The student body was all over you. I mean, all over your players.
Well, they were. When Festus would play DeSoto and the papers would come out and everything.
It was standing room only. The student body would line up at 3 o'clock.
On top of the court.
What do they call that out there when they come to football? Tailgating. They were tailgating. Yeah. And my good teachers would let them sneak in the back door, so they filled the stands up. So whenever your fans came in, they couldn't have a seat. There was no seat in the pit.
When they came to our place, their student body was there by 4:45.
Yeah.
For a 6 o'clock JV game because they wanted to set up mid-court opposite of
you're right.
the benches.
That sounds like Steelville and that district championship game. They're showing up before school was out to come get a seat.
But people were showing up. School wasn't even over. We're like, my Lord.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do, man.
Yeah, they walked in the gym, and I'm like, guys, game's not till 6. Oh, yeah, but we want to find our seats there. And they were at mid-court at our place.
Man, that couldn't happen at Herculaneum. I mean, because Blair would be having practice, and he'd kick you out.
No, he wouldn't. He'd let people sit in there. He ain't going to say no. He wants everybody to watch him coach. Come on now.
Oh, well.
He's a showman.
Yeah.
He's a showman.
You're right.
He's a showman.
You're right.
Really? Back up timeout.
Have you ever seen him call a timeout? Oh, my God.
It's a show. You used to say, like, you're over there dancing around acting stupid. I'm like, yeah, I ain't got nothing on this guy.
I got a good video.
It's pretty neat.
Oh, really?
He bends back and
stretches. Timeout. Oh, you should have seen this one. So this summer, I have to. He's got one with the 30-second timeouts now, too. He'll go real fast.
Tapping his shoulders?
Oh, yeah, 30-second. Oh my God! He called one at Summer League, and I fell out of the bleachers over there. I'm like, oh my God! He was all.
I just call timeout, just walk out in the middle of the floor. I gotta get their attention. You'll be like Zach. Hey, I saw Zach run as fast as I've ever seen him in my life. He sprinted. I'm joking. From that first coach's box hash mark
all the way to the baseline.
All the way to the baseline to get a timeout on some old dude who wasn't paying attention in a JV game. And underneath the basket.
It was hilarious.
That's what we used to do all the time. I don't know.
Now wait,
there was no coaching box.
No, wait.
There's no box.
All right, I want you to think about this. This is Zach.
Yeah,
this is Zach. He was on a dead run. Yeah. And I was like,
"Whoa, he didn't fall or trip or anything?"
I said, "Zach, are you okay?" Like, good, man. I like it.
It was the fastest I'd ever seen that dude move.
It was the fastest I ever seen him move.
Like, I couldn't believe he got out there.
But my question is I'm going to have to quote you a little bit, Coach. On the last time you were on the show, you said that everybody knew that you go down to St. Vincent that it was tough to play there, but they didn't know when they came to the pit that it was tough to play there.
Well,
I
knew it was tough to go to the pit.
It's tough to go to the pit. Yeah, it was tough.
You could pretty well guess who the two officials was going to be.
No. Wait, you know who the two officials were there.
I had at least 6 or 8 of them. I mean, he had the same two.
Well, you got how many relatives down there?
Oh, we've got plenty, but they're retiring now, so we're going to have to.
I think I lost 4 games with those guys than I won. Those guys you guys mentioned, they were my home court boys. I think I lost games with them. Anytime I went down to Park Hills and played a tournament or play down south, it seemed like those officials wanted to get in more down there instead of Jefferson County. So
they pay more.
Holy crap! The Cardinals are losing 14-0.
Oh, that's why do you bring that up?
Oh, wow.
We're talking about basketball, man.
Sorry, it came across the screen.
This guy. Hey, how you doing?
14-0.
Why are you worried about that? What did you think?
Fire him.
It's not happening.
Sorry, back to basketball.
It's not happening.
I was up there last night. Bad 8th inning.
Did they boo?
Yeah.
See?
Well, here's my.
Here we go. You already got on. You did it. This is you. This is your fault.
Why did they not bring that guy back in for the 8th?
I don't know. It's analytics. You're playing baseball with a calculator.
He 1, 2, 3'd them, and then
calculator. The calculator said don't do it. It's like the Magic 8-ball. The little Magic 8-balls, you had toys and stuff back in the 90s.
But if you would have heard his interview, he said it was by feeling. He said that on the air, by feeling of the game, blah, 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 blah.
He felt the calculator vibrate. He's have stuff in his hand that vibrates and tells him not to do it. I'm just telling you. There you go.
So, what do you guys? I don't care which one of you ask, but I mean, What was the hardest or most challenging part of coaching for you? Like, what is it? The hardest part or the most challenging part of coaching?
Probably for me is kids that don't get to play much. It's always tough to, explain to them their roles and why they're not playing, or parents coming in saying, hey, and this probably hasn't happened for a long time for me, but I've had some years where parents would just come in and like, I just don't understand why my kid's not playing. And you try to explain to them that they're just not, that good or that talented compared to what we have and stuff. And the kids understand it. I've never hardly had any kids complain about the playing time. It was always the parents that came in and complained and stuff. But probably for me, I'm a oldie and I'd like to see everybody play. And I always try to give everybody playing time, especially JV freshman games, they all get to play. I usually play them all in those games and stuff. Varsity, some years I just, played who I thought was the best and we went that way. And there was other years I played them all, the situation and stuff. For me, probably dealing with that because I'm kind of, I was not the best basketball player probably when I was younger, and I set the bench a lot, and I do know how them guys feel. And not the good the situation, they come out and practice every day, and they try to get better, but sometimes they're just not that talented, and and they can do as much work as they can to get better, and some years it just doesn't work, So probably for me, that might be the biggest challenge for me. Other than that, I always enjoyed working with kids, and I always felt like I had good player relationships with my players and my parents and things like that, and so I'm going to say that.
No, I think I can agree with playing time is always something hard to deal with, and those role players, there's just not too many people that want to be a role player
anymore.
Wants to be a role player
not anymore. No. I mean, years ago, my players, they knew their roles, and it was perfect. They knew when they were going to play and what role they were going to play, and they knew who our better players was, and they knew they wasn't going to come out and score 20 points a night or whatever, and that's why we've been successful some years, because of that.
What about you, Coach Davis?
Nothing.
Probably chilling down my intensity level.
So your own temper keeping you.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen you intense.
My expectation level of what kids should be doing and how they should be doing, it's pretty high, and I would say that's probably my biggest problem. I mean, we could lose or be in a tournament and win a tournament, and I'm gonna still grab them after the game. It's no fun playing for Coach Davis. Trust me, because there's always room for improvement. And I think they should be better than what they are. Effort's always there. My kids have always given the effort, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But sometimes if you go too far, you don't realize the lack of ability or the ability of that child thinking or putting the pressure on themselves. And next thing you know, that kid's failed because you put too intense. I've done that many, many times.
Been too intense for some players.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I've never coached with them. I mean, what do you think?
I'm not saying anything because I'm afraid I might get stabbed some point. I can't divulge things. No. I get it. That's one of the hardest things. I agree, because you think that they can do this, and they might not. But then at the same time, they're just. I mean, they beat themselves up. Now you got to worry about the dinner table stuff with mom and dad, because their expectations, your expectations are different, and they're hearing that consistently. So you got to. I mean, you're trying to manage a lot of that, and that kid's got a lot of pressure, and especially if their parents have basketball expectations of them. Sometimes I really like the kids who are basketball 2 kids, because they know their role. I don't have to worry about that kid thinking that he's better than what he is. I mean, I got a couple really good role players right now that they go play baseball, they go play other sports, and they know that they're not shooting the ball 25 times a game, and they're okay with that. They're, Coach, I get it. I'm good. And you're going to get their best effort, but they're just not the most talented kid. And there's not a lot of those kids left. You're right. I mean, that's hard. And then at the same time, you got those other kids who you're like, you should be a lot better. And you want them to be better. You want them to understand that. And it's hard, because then they get turned off by that.
I think it's the most difficult thing is judging which kids can take it and which kids can't.
That's a good one.
And you have some, you think a kid can take your coaching, and then you find out later on that, well, I got to go a different way with this kid. And that's hard to decide. And sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it's too late. And you already burned that bridge. And that's one of the things I find a lot of difficulty with. I think about how I coached my own son some, and I thought I would say a couple things, and then I would get home and be like,
the worst.
I'm sorry, bud. I shouldn't have said that. And I ticked him off a lot.
I did it a lot. Like you have a 6'6" freshman, you think he can dribble the ball, he can handle it, he can do everything. The kid I'm thinking of, and I probably ruined it. He had all the chances in the world to be something, and he is something today, but he could have been a real player in college. I mean, he had all the tools, that my pressure in him and my intensity level was probably a little bit too much, and then he starts second-guessing himself, and then the next thing you know, things just don't go. And it should have went. So that's my whole deal, is because I've had a lot of talented kids.
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't had the chance, obviously, of coaching my own kid, because I don't even think she likes basketball, because she probably sees me over there yelling at kids, and she's like, I don't want no part of that. But I have coached my cousin, and I just had to tell him, I told him the very first time, I said, listen, I can't even show you favoritism, okay? So I'm probably going to be harder on you. I tried to tell him that, and you try to put that out there, but it doesn't matter. I mean, at the same time, he's still a kid, and you're still putting a lot of pressure on him, and you're still probably treating him like crap in comparison to the other kids, because you don't want them to think that, we're favoring your family kind of stuff. I could see that as being extremely difficult with the sons, and you both have coached your sons in basketball, and I don't even want to think about coaching my daughter. It's hard enough just to tell her a couple things here and there, like, hey, don't shoot the basketball with two hands. Girls shoot the ball with two hands, and she's like, I'm a girl. Okay, well, I can't use that.
A lot of people would question me, like, why are you sending him to dig deep, dude, or why you have him go play 34 hoops, or why? Because he's not gonna listen to me all the time, and he gets tired of listening to me. So I like him to play with other coaches, so that maybe a lot of them are going to be saying the same things that I am. It's just not me. So that's why I paid a lot of money for him to see other coaches and things. So that kind of helped him, I think.
I mean, you're talking about, here's how crazy I was. Intense practice. I mean, Bruce brought up a thing about my son and Bash not playing a game. And what happened was that we practiced in the pit the day before, or 2 days before, and my rule is there's no out of bounds. No out of bounds. So wherever the ball is, the strong survive. And Bash broke his finger, and my son got hurt both diving into those bleachers in that pit. But was there any really reason to be that intense in practice? You know what I'm saying?
And with St. Vincent's coming to town, too.
Well, yeah.
Valleroy coming to town.
I mean, we're getting ready to play Festus. I remember one time, might have been back when you were back here, and we did glide run pivot for 32 minutes, and one of the kids said, Coach, we got a game tomorrow. I don't give a damn. We're going to do it 5 more minutes now. I mean, glide run pivot is a drill. You stay down. You don't break stance.
Yeah.
You don't break stance. You break stance with
kids hate it.
They hate it. And I don't know why. What was I thinking, Bruce? Mm-hmm. Well, because I got out of my zone, got away from the practice plan because I was PO with my intensity. They're not doing this right. They're going to do it right. And I wish I could go back.
I mean,
I'm sure those kids hate me today.
I mean, I was very fortunate to see a very mellow. Well, I say very mellow, a mellower version of Coach Davis when I got to be around him in basketball. But I know several people who've told me the stories.
I'm glad there's not lawsuits back then.
The statute of limitations is passed. You're fine now. I think you're good.
I mean, we had a coach talk about the fat farm on here, so we're
you're still you won't touch the fat farm. You're
I didn't
good.
do anything like that.
You're good there. Did you? I don't know, Coach. Did you see that episode about the fat farm?
I'm sure I did. I've watched about all of them.
We'll talk about it off the air.
Yeah. But no, Coach Davis was very intense, but he was well prepared, though, too. He was well prepared. So you knew when you were playing DeSoto, it was going to be a handful.
When you got 8 assistant coaches on your bench.
Well, it took an hour to shake hands after the game. I thought I shook hands with the same guy 10 times.
I can remember. I mean, now there was a couple questionable.
I just kept going down the line. I thought I shook hands with this guy.
There's my parents got in line too.
There was a couple.
He was such a celebrity. They had to get in line to shake his hand. All my parents lined up.
There was some calls where we were at the other end of the floor, and they would knock the ball out of bounds at the other end, and they still give him the ball. And I'm like, how did that happen? He looked at me, he said, we're in DeSoto, son. You don't get any calls up here. I'm like, okay, sir.
So then that way, Bruce is like, you know what I'll get? Hey, I'm just going to go to the family reunion and get some guys, put a jersey on. Here, go ahead. Here's a whistle.
I mean,
we were to DeSoto South, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, you're there.
South.
My question is when Bruce did beat you with that group, who were your assistants, and did you yell at them the way that I've seen you get
was Sean Breeze one of your assistants at that point, maybe?
Yeah, Sean was at that time. To be honest with you, he was.
I figured he probably took a little brunt of that.
I have to remind him of that.
I think he was. I'm sorry, Sean.
Coach Breeze.
Oh, boy.
But like I said, that last minute of the game, you didn't want to be around him. I don't think his assistants even went out to midcourt with him after, especially the second one.
It sounds like someone else I know.
Yeah.
They were all part of the game plan until the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But this guy was telling Bruce, I mean, it's better to have your foes or your enemy sitting beside you.
Keep your enemies closer.
If you had all those coaches that I had sitting on the bench up there griping about what I'm doing, it's too much turmoil. I'll put you on the coaching staff. Sit right here.
I love it.
Oh, man.
That's what you got to do. You got to get them over there.
Can you imagine how many people you'd have sitting some years?
I could probably have
I could be 10 deep some years.
Well, we had to bring extra chairs in at DeSoto.
That's all for the assistant coaches.
He had more than Blair did.
Blair told me that's where he got the idea to have so many assistants. He said he talked to you and said
coaches can have an offensive, defensive coordinator, a specialty team, and all that. Basketball, why don't you have offensive, defensive coaches? Why don't you have a point guard coach? I mean, why don't you have someone assigned to the big men? Well, why do we got to be the elitist and think we have to be the only guy sitting up there hollering? Why wouldn't you have assistants?
He says all this stuff. And then you try to tell him what's Coach, what do you think about this?
It was nice when you gave him suggestions.
Now, I'll tell you this. I'm going to throw him on the bus for a second.
He was standing up the whole time. I'm sitting giving him
suggestions. No.
I heard you when we played.
I had to say to sit down.
Flip-flop.
I had to tell him to sit down.
No. We'll flip-flop this because that first year you were standing up and then you gave me all those losses. But you're the head coach, even though whatever you want to say. Here's the thing.
He said you gave me all those losses.
He did. He goes, I get the wins.
Were
you
the one listed?
That's what he told me.
Oh, well,
that's been Coach Eddie
we only
was
had 3 wins.
I know.
Well, you got those. Good
Wow,
job.
shit. I didn't get those. You took
coaching, wasn't it?
Oh, that's what I thought.
Oh, yeah. They were all on one side of the calendar, too. That was a rough year. I love those kids, though. I still tell them that. But, no, it's like he told me one time, first time he hired me. And we're walking around the gym in the summertime, and we're talking about different things. He's like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds really good. I mean, this is Coach Davis. He knows more about basketball. Forgot more than what I know. So I'm like, yeah, that's good. After about 10 minutes of it, he looks at me and he goes, listen, if I wanted anybody who's just going to agree with everything I'm going to say, I'll just go over to DeSoto and get one of those talking heads, okay? So he told me, he's like, I want your opinion.
I want some argument.
Now, here's the problem, though. Okay, you're going to tell him what you think? What do you know? You're a small-time coach. What do you ever want? You coach come to South Iron?
He waits till it's game time.
No.
Game preparation takes hours of time before that. That's when you have that discussion. But if you're not available, or if you're not around, or if you're out bar
so you were never available?
Oh, come on. He's too busy chasing. Chasing.
Oh, you were chasing, huh?
When you're winning, he stands by you. If you're losing, he moves down the bench a little bit.
Bruce.
You weren't allowed to move down the bench. He was looking at you like, what? You just going to go sit down there now or what? Let's go. No, there was no. You couldn't escape that. Plus, we didn't have a big enough bench anyway. All those damn kids. No, this was the Grandview. All those kids. Hey, we started out with like 26 kids. We finished the program with like 14. Okay,
it was bad.
One kid was in swim trunks. Okay.
Oh yeah, he comes to practice in swim trunks, flip flops.
He was a JV kid.
What?
He'd been gone for a month.
Yeah, he shows up.
He just shows up. He's like, what? He goes, what's that kid doing here?
Who's that?
I have no idea.
Who is that kid? I didn't know who he was. I mean, what?
He was gone for a month and thought he was
Showed up in flip-flops.
Flip-flops and these swimming trunks.
He's in swim trunks. He's out there
ready to
practicing.
go.
Yeah, he's ready.
It's like, what are you doing? He looks at me. He goes, "Is that one? That's one of yours, isn't it? Who is that?" I go, "I have no." I said, "Coach, he's off the team. Why is he here?" "Coach, I have no idea." To get him out of here.
Well, man,
Right,
Coach,
we
we
gotta
wouldn't
go.
have been that bad if I wouldn't have kicked that kid off the team.
That would have helped.
I mean, our best player is out doing something he shouldn't be doing.
Right before the game,
Right
first
before the game, and somebody walks in. I'm in the office, says, "Hey, he's out there doing something inappropriate." I go out there and I rolls the window down. And I said, "Turn your stuff in." And he goes, "Well, this is Grandview. I can do." No, you ain't doing this with me. And that wasn't a good move.
Change the game plan real quick.
The game 10 really.
Yeah,
I'm the legend. You do what I say.
The only kid we got that can play, and now he's not on the team.
Yeah, that didn't help.
That was not a very smart move. So, as a coach, I do dumb things.
There were a couple. I mean, it was tough, but because they just weren't used to winning. I mean, it's what it was, and there were several kids who didn't come out that year, and one of them obviously who got kicked off the team, but didn't come out. And that if they would have, and I think they wanted to come out later on in the year, and it's like, no, we're gonna roll with these guys.
And you had some injuries too. Klaus got hurt.
Well, no, that was a little later. That was like 3 years after.
It was after.
That we're talking that very first year. We actually, I mean, we did have another kid though who had a knee injury. He really would have helped. That kid could fly.
He could jump.
Oh yeah, and he tore his ACL probably in like the second week, 2 weeks before.
It's probably in one of those too physical of a practice.
Sometimes.
Maybe.
Yeah, we had some pretty intense practices.
The no out of bounds rule probably got you.
And we did the Russian drill.
I quit the out of bounds thing.
We had the Russian drill.
I realized that kids were getting hurt. I quit the charge drill.
I've never.
I quit that.
I used to do the charge drill early in my career, the first couple years.
We call it the triangle drill.
I mean, when I used
like
to
3
line them
things
up.
to do.
If you wimped out during I'd line the kids up. Everybody got a ball and run over his about. You had to take 10 charges. If you didn't, did 10 more. Man, then I watched the game. I went and scouted, and I saw a kid at Eureka fall back. I think it was at Eureka or Pacific. And he took a charge. He stumbled back and hit his head, neck, and broke his neck on the wall. And those gyms, they're really close back, like Kirk.
Like Kirky, yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I never did charges again. Never. If they did it, they just did it.
Yeah.
And everybody'd say, "Oh, you practice it." No, we really don't.
Don't we just tell the kids you need to take it now?
Yeah.
It's like we're not gonna practice that.
We're not practicing. It's just roll back on your feet. Put your hands, cover your genitals, and roll over.
Just tuck your chin, just fall.
I'd
Fall
quit
straight
doing
down. You do the charge drill?
Not
Coach?
like that. We used to do it. When
You get
we
the
put,
mat?
We put mats back behind them and stuff.
Oh,
and
that's a
then
good move. Yeah.
when they got hit, then they fell on the mat.
When he was coaching cheerleading down there at St. Vincent.
I probably done that with practices too. Been in practices,
probably down at the Fighting Valleroy's cheerleading camp.
Real quick before we go to break, is sideline cheerleading a sport, Coach Valleroy? Yes or no? Sideline cheer, as defined by Misha, is it a sport?
No, I do not think it's sanctioned by Misha, but they do have competition.
That's not a Misha sanctioned.
No,
event?
no, unless they changed it.
I already
since
know
I've
your
been
answer.
AD.
I'm not even going to ask you.
No way.
It's not a sport?
I'm sorry, Jason. No.
Well, why not?
You got to have more competitions than whatever that is. If they want to have a competition,
There's got to be a winner or loser, right?
got to be a winner and loser to be a sport.
Okay,
I like it.
I wanted to see where you're going with it.
Everybody's got to get a trophy, I guess. That's what that.
Everybody gets an ice cream cone.
I believe. What sport started that, by the way? Let's make a vote.
Oh, it was
Baseball.
You better
Oh,
wait.
no. Soccer. Soccer.
Probably T-ball and soccer.
T-ball and soccer. Orange slices and ice cream.
You think it was soccer?
Yeah. There you go, Kevin. That's
There
our
you
soccer
go, Jim
talk.
Powers.
Yep. Soccer talk for this whole show. Already fixed right there. You're watching the Coach's Box. We will be right back here in a little bit.
I'm the latest hashtag challenge, and everyone on social media is trying me. I'm trending so hard that hashtag common sense can't keep up.
This is gonna get tens and tens of views.
But if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage,
You could be left to pay for this yourself.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
For 24 years, really enjoyed being a basketball coach. When I retired from coaching, I decided that I wanted to get back into the media world. I look at it from more of a coach's point of view. I love to showcase guests. I love to tell their story, not just locally, regionally, but nationally as well. Joe Namath, Kurt Warner, Patrick Ewing, Katie Smith. Not just talk about their accolades, but what they have given back to the game, what they've given back as leaders in their community. And I want people to be able to listen to my show and to be able to take that into their lives. They're going to be able to live their life like a champion. That's a show right there that I feel like is worth listening to.
All right, everybody, welcome back to our third segment of the Coach's Box. Don't forget to check out all of our great sponsors who are sponsoring our show. And if you are looking for some other good podcasts to watch and listen to, you can check out Let's Talk Sports. They have a lot of really great stuff. Check out their YouTube channel, and you can see some of our content down there, too, as well, because they are all about promoting podcasts and sports content. So, this has been very interesting and entertaining show, just so you guys know.
In case you haven't been paying attention, we have two of our legendary Jefferson County Conference coaches in the house, filling in for those two losers who aren't here. Zach McVey and Riley Blair, both on vacation. Who takes vacations anyway?
Well, last time I was here, I thought they were on vacation.
Well, they always seem like they're on vacation.
I see that my brother's on. Dave, you got a question for Coach Davis? Put it on there.
Boy.
Did he? I didn't see it.
Yeah, it said my brother Dave was watching right there.
There he goes.
And Tanya's watching too.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad everybody's watching.
I want Dave to see if he has a question for Coach Davis. I bet he could come up with something interesting.
Oh, sure. I mean, I'll tell you what, though. I mean, the best thing is about getting you guys on the show and things like that is I like the stories. Anymore, when I go to coaching clinics and you go and listen to all these guys, you got these youngerish college coaches coming in, and they're trying to tell you all the crap that they do. And it's like, listen, if I had these lower level D2 athletes who are basketball 1 and you could basically have a job playing basketball in college, so you can coach them however you want to, you can run whatever system, and you can go recruit to the system that you want, that's great. I would love to listen to you, and that offense will really work. We don't have that. We have maybe 1 or 2 basketball 1 kids. The rest of them play multiple sports. They're not all invested in basketball. So whatever you're doing right there, I can't practice it 4 or 5 hours a day nowadays. Sorry, Coach Davis, I know 4 or 5 hours. You're just like, what?
Why not?
That doesn't work. So I like to go to clinics now and just listen to those. I remember listening to Charlie Spoonhour just tell stories. I like that. Bob Huggins before the DUI is a great story.
I would still go see
listen
Bob
to Bob Huggins tell a story.
I'll tell you, I saw Pettigrew, who was at Cuba City. He's been there for 40-something years or whatever, and I've seen him twice, and he was awesome. Stories and just the stuff that he taught his kids was awesome, too. I'm trying to run some of it, but a dummy down version of it, but he had some cool stuff and a good storyteller.
So you guys have been to a lot of clinics in your time. I know Coach Davis knows everybody who runs clinics. What was some of your favorite guys that you got a chance to listen to? Go ahead, whichever one. It don't matter.
Years ago, Gene Cady for Purdue.
Oh, that been
Gene was good, and
was he more storytelling or was he a
little bit of both? More storytelling probably than the X's and O's, but he was very good. And then Spoonhour, of course, was very good. Ron Shoemate when he was at SEMO, he was a good storyteller. Ron kissing your sister through a screen door, and we're about as hot as fire, or things like that. So
there's a lot of stories about Coach Shoemate and how he was.
I was in college at that time when he was down there. Yeah, I was at college.
You were at college then?
Yes.
He's been coaching that. He was coaching that long ago.
Back in the 1800s. Yeah.
So, wow, I didn't realize he was that back
in the
then.
80s. Yeah.
Him and Dr. Naismith invented the game, and then you went and
took them to a Final Four and second in the nation there, Division II, and then that's when they transferred over to Division I right after that. Yeah.
Yep. What about you, Coach Davis? What was some of the?
I'm a clinic junkie. Back when I first started, and I mean, I got put in this position not because I wanted it, because I was kind of forced into taking the head basketball job. And I didn't really take it as serious as I probably should have. But after Parkway South beat us by like 50 in the first round of a district game, and I saw kids that were kind of teary-eyed and upset I thought, you know what? I didn't put enough into this. So I spent a week with Bobby Knight. And if you want to know what spending a week with Bobby Knight's like, you better get ready and put your helmet on, because he's going to treat you like crap. It don't matter who the assistants are, who they are, but it is no storytelling. It's all basketball. And that's when I realized that I got to get serious about this. Went down to Gene Best. I mean, I'm probably one of the fortunate ones that Gene's allowed me to spend a couple of weeks with him. He's really good. Not a storyteller by any means.
No.
Bruce Pearl is a storytelling sucker. And if you're not paying attention, he'll take his shirt off and show you his muscles. I mean, I'm down in Mississippi, some kind of tunica.
I went to the Tunica Clinic. That's always a fun time.
I went down, and hey, somebody wasn't listening back there in the back, and I think it was Robbie Coleman, and I think he was going to threaten to kick. I think he was going to kick his butt. So I don't know. I mean, I've been very Rick Pitino when he was in Kentucky.
He said Robbie Coleman. Yeah. That makes me giggle.
It was.
That's good. It's good stuff.
But to tell you how serious they are, I mean, Pitino's office is probably big as this place, this whole building here. And he had a whiteboard all the way across there, and it was, I think, me and Wes Wagner were in there, and it went back about to four-year-olds or fourth grade, and it hit every top 5 player from fourth grade on up, and that's how hard those guys would look at him and judge him. And he
said Wes Wagner was with him.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's
Wes used to hang a lot with me. My assistant coaches went everywhere. I mean, I've been very blessed.
That's a good family to have around you. The Wagners.
I've been very blessed. I mean, we had to go scout in Cincinnati, Ohio. We all packed in a van and took off.
Well, you probably didn't leave them any choice.
Well, maybe not.
I'm just telling you, once you figured out probably how to text and stuff on a cell phone, it was over.
It was. I spent a lot of time in clinics, a lot of time.
And you had some ex-Perryville coaches too, Joe Roth and Jeff Hayden.
I've been very fortunate. I mean, I've had the best assistant coaches probably anywhere. The assistants were good, really good, and dedicated. Even my managers would go on trips with me to film stuff. The scorekeeper guy went with me one time to Indiana to watch a game and to scout a game. So, I mean, they all were totally into basketball. I am not kidding you.
It's hard to find guys like that, you know. I mean, I'll use this for example. Waynesville, I was talking to Coach Pills, and they had 34 coaching openings in the district. Now, Waynesville's a big school, and they got a lot of different levels of, obviously, of coaching. But 34, I mean, people just don't want to coach, and it's hard to find. It's hard to find guys that just want to do it, and they're that loyal. They're going to go out there. They're going to work. They're going to do what they got to do. They don't have an agenda to try to stab you in the back, take your second job or anything like that. And it's hard to find guys that want to dedicate. They're just like, I'm just showing up and whatever. Put on, give me some free gear or something. And
I've been very lucky with Coach Buddy. I got one
that's a good one.
That's a former Jeff County Coach of the Year.
That's right. And he's
that's
one.
Right.
He's one that. I trust with about anything. And,
all my out of bounds plays.
He talks about coaching offense. I mean, I said, buddy, you just take the defense and you just go. And then this last 2 years, he's done all of it, all the defensive stuff. Now I may make the call or the shots in the game, but I mean, he's the one at practice running all that defensive stuff. And I got a good one in him. Now this year, unfortunately, the rest of our staff all resigned. So
so it's not just me, right?
Well, now I had one retirement. Who had been doing it for 20-something years, and Coach Goodwin, and then had another that was coaching 3 sports and just recently got married, and so I understood why he wanted to get out. And then
she knew what she was getting into. Come on. You don't want to comment. It's okay. I'm the one who said it.
Well, and some people's other halves aren't big on coaching, So I mean, it's stuff that happens.
Yep.
But it's hard to find coaches that are willing to put in the time. Is the big thing. It's a lot of time. I mean, it's just so much time if you want to do it right.
If you want to do it, it's a lot of time, and if you want to do it right, it's a lot more time. And if you want to be really good, it's a freakish amount of time.
Freakish.
And I mean, I will say this. That's one thing I learned from Coach Davis. There was no bedtime. Like, he was texting me at 2:30 in the morning about offense. I'm like, oh, man, I'm asleep. He goes, well, you ain't serious about basketball. These are a lot of conversations
my
we have.
coaches get that sometimes. I'll text them at 2 in the morning,
and you know what?
They won't answer till the next day.
And you know what? He was right. He was right. And I mean, I know some of my assistants aren't up, but I'm up. I'm wanting to watch it. I'm wanting to do this stuff, and then I'm like, you're going to answer me? That's okay. I'll catch you when you get here. I'll catch you. We're going to go over this.
I probably ran a few of them off accidentally because there's so much. I mean, you're talking about the Joe Roth and Jeff Hayden and Ron Llewellyn. What about Red Odom?
Mm-hmm.
I had Red Odom as the head coach at Perryville for a while. I mean, he is an X and O guru.
Mm-hmm.
I am telling you, he knows it.
And he coached at Harkey there back in the late 90s, too.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've had some really good people in those positions.
It's hard to find guys like that.
I was going to bring up
Nick. I mean, you want to talk about one of the most overachievers in basketball. I mean, my goodness. I mean, he had to play big man. He had to play point. He had to play forward. I mean, did he have the skills? No, but he had the heart to get it done. I guarantee you
He brought the ball down.
He brought if he had to back it down all the way down.
That's what I remember that. It's like Nick Stearns backed the ball down the floor, so you shouldn't be able to get the ball taken away from him.
when Cameron Shores is out for whatever, I mean, he had to put. I mean, Nick, you got to play point because Bourbon's got to catch the ball.
No, he's not against us, and we can help him.
Yeah. When Bourbon couldn't catch the ball, we were in a little trouble.
Bruce has got like 7 guys on him, including the 2 referees.
Yeah. He had them all hollering at him. And
like I said, everybody's PPG goes up when they see St. Vincent.
Well, the time we played Pius that year, they played a triangle 2 on Bourbon. They put 2 guys at Bourbon, and Bourbon stood at half court, and 2 guys played him. And
you remember when Jason's first year, and
I tried to do that
against Klaus.
Against Klaus, I tried to do that against you guys.
So you're like, hey, let's run this, and we ran that little play where we're just screen, roll that guy down, and Kobe's standing there at half court, 2 kids stand on him. You call a timeout. Kobe's going, yeah. That's how I'm like, Kobe, knock that crap off. Come on, man. Don't be doing that.
No, wait a minute. I remember his little smart ass clapping. Because I knew how his brothers were. I know how they are. It was like, you little smart ass.
His whole family.
Yeah, that whole yes.
No, now his mom was the nicest person ever. Now Jim, on the other hand, I can see Jim being that guy.
No, Jim was your assistant too.
Yeah, Jim Klaus.
Jim Klaus was your assistant.
Yeah. I've had a bunch.
He always had a story to say.
Oh yeah,
Jim always has stories. Sometimes we had to, kind of speed it like a Jim. We got to get to practice here. Okay, we got to get back in this trip.
Now, was Robbie one of your assistants too?
Coleman?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. I thought Robbie was.
No, Robbie left and went right to St. John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Robbie was really a football player. He set the Division III rushing record at one time. He had it. He held it.
There's nothing wrong with football players turning into basketball coaches.
I mean, there you go.
Do we know any?
Yeah, I don't know. You might know a few.
So who is the worst speaker that you ever went and saw? If you can think off the top of your head.
I mean, it might be a total waste of time.
Total waste of time.
Don't go there. I'm not going to go there.
Okay, a college coach. No college coach is watching this.
No college coach was bad that I went to.
No, yeah?
No.
Yours was the high school.
Yeah, it was the high school. It was the high school guys.
Oh, the high school guys.
Or it was the one at the Missouri clinic here where they bring in 10 clinicians, and one of them knows what they're doing. The rest of them are like, what the heck? Now I drive all the way to Columbia, and I spend 2 nights, and I'm like, well, let's go back home.
I will say this, and I'm going to rep the MBCA a little bit on this. The clinics have gotten a lot better. The clinic is the Missouri clinic is one of the best in the nation as far as clinics put on.
I can't. It's during football season all the time. I can't make it.
That's right. Football guys, just like you said.
I got to feed my family, and I get paid.
I knew we were going to.
And I was AD all those years. I couldn't go either during
and
football.
I don't know if it's just the atmosphere or what. I just can't. I can't buy into it, or maybe it was too old. I got old. And just setting all these clinics and hearing the same thing over and over and over.
I gotta say, the ones that I never did like, I never did like those guys coming in and they do the training. The training guys always drove me nuts.
That's what seemed like you had a lot of that.
Yeah, and for a few years there were these training guys that came in, and I'm not saying that they're not good, but when I have guys who are basketball 2,
three
or 4 even, I feel like I can't put these guys through that kind of workout. They're gonna be like, I'm out, I don't want to do this. And I get it, and I get what they're doing.
I do too.
But you know what, I want to see the coaches come in, and I know that it's like you want to find that one little nugget. I was sitting next to a coach that I admire. I think he's a good coach. And he's done a lot, and he's sitting there taking a lot of notes on different things. And he did it the whole clinic, this last one. And I said, how much do you get out of this? He said, listen, if I can grab one thing from each of these guys and apply it to what we do, it's a win. From one thing from each of them, because you're not going to be able to do everything that Dennis Gates does. You're just not at Mizzou.
Dennis Gates was great when I saw him.
I saw Dennis Gates twice. When he was at Cleveland State, I thought he was a pompous, arrogant dude, and when he did the Missouri one, when he got the job, I thought he was amazing. I don't know. It was just a different feel to him.
He had just gotten the job when I saw him in Chicago, and he was a really good speaker, and it related to us as. I'm a high school coach. I'm a small town,
and that's the ones I liked, because you listen to a lot of guys who just they go in there and say, well, this is what we run. I mean, I remember listening to Calipari when he was at Memphis at the Dribble Drive Clinic in Tunica, and I tell the story all the time because somebody asked me, like, you own a clinic? Like, which one are you going to? And they tell me. I said, listen, make sure it's worth your time. Calipari's talking about rebounding, and he's sitting there going on and on, and he's doing a question and answer with some people, and they're like, Coach, how do you get your kids to rebound well? And he's like, well, he looked up and he goes, I just tell them just go grab that SOB right off the rim. And this old guy had been sitting there next to me. He's leaned back. He just laying back in this chair. He's probably drunk. I don't know. He leans over to me and he goes, "You got 5'9" white kids like I do?" And I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Just checking." And leans back over. Never said another word. I just kind of took everything I was writing down and just threw it away because you know what? He's right. I can't use what you say because I don't have guys who can play like that. I can't only have guys who play above the rim. I might get one or two every now and then. That's it. So what does this help me? What am I spending all this money coming down here and listening to you talk? I want the guys that I can apply those things to, but at the same time, there might be one or two things I can steal from that. I can't do everything that he does in his programs. I don't have the time. I don't have those kinds of players.
I always like it if I can pick up an inbounds player. If I can pick up,
I do like stealing inbounds plays.
A drill, like an offensive drill, a defensive drill, a rebounding drill. That's any kind of drills.
A lot of these clinics, though, there's not drills anymore. Like they're not guys that come in and
they're scrimmage guys.
You could do.
Yeah,
I know Coach Davis loves scrimmaging. Loves it. Loves it. I think one of those kids made a mistake at Grandview asking about scrimmaging one time, and I thought for 1 second that the kid was going to die on the spot. He's like, "What are you asking me?" I'm like, "Oh, geez, they're going to run for a while now."
We don't scrimmage.
You don't scrimmage? You kidding me?
That's Saturday practice. If you come to Saturday, that way I got them to come on weekends. We scrimmage Saturdays. That's it. No, we don't scrimmage during the week. That's work week. It's called work.
Okay.
Jason's like, "Notes."
I know. I'm sitting here like, "Oh, okay."
Because everybody said you can't make them come to practice on Saturday. Okay, we'll scrimmage on Saturday then. Can't do weekends. Okay, we'll scrimmage it. Well, they're all there on the weekend because they want to scrimmage. Everybody wants to do that.
Coach Valleroy, do you scrimmage a lot?
It depends on the time of year, and how many games we got that week and different situations, and if we do, we're not going to do, 20, 30 minutes of it all. Well, 10 minutes or so at the end or so just to see where we're at and things like that.
I don't like to do just full out scrimmage if ever. I want to do something controlled because I maybe work on transition, one or two, 3 possessions, and then break it down like this is what you guys screwed up on or this is what you did really good on. I don't like full out scrimmages. I really, really, really don't. And maybe the only reason I would ever think about doing it is because we haven't played a game. We've had several times since I've been at St. Pius where we haven't had a game in like 10 days, and we got to do something. So that'd be the only time that I really want to do it. That's it.
In our scrimmages, we'll run sets and run our defense, and we'll stop and do inbounds plays against the offense or defensive. Even if you're on defense, the second team will run inbounds plays so we can defend it.
When you do your out of bounds plays, do you bring out the stone tablets that you wrote them on that Moses gave you to use?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think it's the same from when I was in high school. It's the same ones that you're running now. It doesn't. I don't.
We've added a few as the years gone along, but we look to score off inbounds plays. I know a lot of teams don't, but we look to score.
The one
off our inbounds plays.
The one I really hate.
One.
Oh, the sideline one.
And we do the sideline the same way. And we can get you don't know in that possession, you may not get a better shot.
Wait.
So that's why we look
here's the one I hate.
Score.
Here's the one I hate the most is that damn America's play to the freaking corner with the shooter taking the ball out of bounds. And you're telling them, you practice it, you scout it, you're yelling at them.
You've noticed I put that in.
Well,
because everybody does it, and it always works.
It always works.
Everybody does it.
And you're telling them, like,
I picked it up.
It's coming. No.
And it doesn't matter if you're man or if you're in a zone. You're screaming. The inbounder is shooting the corner, and you watch your kid get screened. Oh, God.
I just want to take the basketball and throw it at them.
Or the clipboard or the dry erase board or whatever you may have in your hand.
But that's been my philosophy from day one. We're going to work on our inbounds plays and look to score. And
the inbounds play, we run the flex.
And if we can if we can score 10 points a game off inbounds plays, that could win you a lot of close games.
Yeah.
No, I know that your pick the picker one just kills us every freaking time.
Yeah, it always has.
And I can go over it a million times. We can switch it. We can do all kinds of different things, and it does not matter.
When they're born in Perryville, they're running screen-to-screener action in the infant unit of the hospital.
The picker, but same, yeah. And we work on it and work on it. This is what's going to happen. Don't even follow your guy. Just stay right here. And it follows the damn guy up there, and then he gets picked, and then
Simple stuff works.
I was going to say, keep it simple.
Score, even when we beat you the first game of the first time we played each other this year, and you ran that, like, I think you scored on that like 3 or 4 times. And Coach Buddy's really good at, like, he writes down like everybody's inbounds plays a lot of times, and we'll go through them. And we usually go through them like in the locker room right before the game too. And I called a timeout after one of them, and I just looked at him and I know, Coach. Well, how many times do I got to tell you? Coach, we got it. Sure enough, about 5 minutes later, he scored again on it. I'm like, you got it. At halftime, I was like, you got it.
So that D1 event in Kansas City, you're playing up in the Hy-Vee Arena, and you're talking about some of the best teams from the Midwest, right? They all got some stud. Mm-hmm. They're all pretty good, okay? And I'm sitting there, and I'm running the clock on several of these games, and you want to talk about the simplest out-of-bounds plays. If they would line up in a 2-3 zone, like especially on the girls' side, I had never seen so... They would just act like they're going out to the corner and then curl right back. They threw him the ball, and they're wide open layup. And I saw that. Dude. I saw that one game 5 times, and I look at the person who's, because we ran a shot clock too. Look, I'm going, am I just that stupid for trying to do like the quadratic equations while we're doing out of bounds plays? Because I feel like we should just do something like this.
Blair,
just cut to the basket.
Blair has this one that he runs all the time, and they score on it all the time, and it's the worst. To me, the worst inbounds play.
I hate it.
Like, I watch it, and I hate when he runs it. I can tell you the name. I'm not gonna, but I can tell you the name.
No,
and every time he calls it, I cringe, and it always works. I'm like, that crap would not work in the boys' game. There's no way.
You'd be surprised.
I know. I'm like,
girls are smarter, I think, than boys on a lot of this stuff. And I'm telling you right now, I watched it. I watched it happen.
Oh, I know.
Did you guys? I know Bruce's out of bounds plays. Hell, even run in a long time. I got a list of them. Keep it. So, but what about you, Coach Davis?
Oh, I don't. I'm not much on out of bounds plays.
You don't care?
Nah. I change them every year. Depends on personnel. So
that's fair.
There's no way for me to say what I'm running.
When you got a 6'10" kid, you just lob it up to him. And
sometimes,
he dumps it.
but then he can't make the layup.
Or if you got Bourbon, you run a triple screen and it's wide open.
You're in the picket fence like you got a Jimmy Chipwood there.
You got plenty of them.
Throw him the ball at half court and just let him say, okay, what are they going to do then? Just shoot it. Just shoot it.
So, Coach Valleroy, you're going to like this. This is my brother and what he said about the pit.
Oh, boy.
He said, I used to love playing in the old pit at DeSoto. I also thought that one basket was always lower than the other.
It's because they were dunking on it.
The same thing that he
said about
just accused you of, my brother validated that it must have been like that at the pit, too.
I think it was, though.
That's why you shot the lights out then.
I think the one was a little lower.
Well, Dave, you heard that. He said.
There you go, Dave. We couldn't adjust it up. It kept sliding down. And it's because probably all the dunk fest we had all the time going on.
Midnight Madness.
Yeah, Midnight Madness. Kids all had keys. I don't know what was going on in there. I mean,
you're the AD.
That's why he multiplied all those keys. I mean, come on.
The best thing to happen to DeSoto was Walmart came to town so you could make a lot of keys.
Oh, you didn't go down to the hardware store?
Oh, no, you don't know. Walmart gave a lot quicker. Mass produce them things, Jason.
I
had to get them keys because they were breaking into the band room was off the side of the pit back there, and the kids would break into it. And the only reason I know all that and come in there because the cops would come by and say, or call me on the phone and say, Coach Davis, back then it was one of these kind of phones. Ding, 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 ding. So there's a roller thing. Yeah. And it's Coach Davis,
I had one.
They're in the gym again. Let them go.
At least they're there.
They're in there.
They're not doing things they should be doing.
I mean, I'm with you. I go over to Pius here a lot.
Oh, man. Those kids are
there's kids
people in there
like
all the time.
Oh, wait a minute. They were there last time I was here.
Yeah.
So one time we're
unsupervised.
We're there, yeah. And we're there.
There's a camera.
Illegal.
We're there to do the show.
They were there the night of the all-conference meeting when I
we're there to do the show, like, early in the season one time, and I look over there and I go, Gabe's in your gym right now. I'm like, are you freaking kidding? My point guard's in their gym
playing.
We've already had practice.
That's the kid they're recruiting.
No, this is after he already came back. It was after he already came back.
They were in there playing the other day.
If I'm recruiting, I'm really terrible.
I just couldn't believe it. I thought you guys had rules. You guys couldn't do that kind of stuff.
All those kids that you've seen, I would say 95 of them, they're out of school.
Yeah, most of the kids that are there are out of a lot of them.
Now you get like Gabe. Gabe would come in there. He came in there. He leaves St. Pius. He was probably there more than some of the kids who played basketball.
Well, he would be there sometimes, and yeah, I mean, I'd be like, Gabe, you don't need to play. Like I did not practice a lot of Saturdays this year. It was one of the first years I cut back a little bit, and I think it helped us. But he would, if we didn't have practice or anything on a Sunday, I know he was over there. He was over there all the time.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I hate that stupid contact day rule that Misha has and their preseason stuff. Seriously, why not just let the kids go to the gym? They're playing ball. They're not doing things they shouldn't be doing. Whatever the local rules are for those open gyms or facility usage, let them do it. Would you rather them be out there, selling drugs, doing things they shouldn't be doing, or would you rather them be in a gym playing basketball or any kind of sport? I mean, seriously, that's what you want. Isn't that why we want our kids to be active in sports, is to get away from some of that stuff? And some of those kids need that instead of their home lives.
Yeah,
or
that's
those things.
I would. That's why some of these kids need it. I mean, I had some kids that, you were talking about this is their third sport or their second sport. Some of those kids, if they weren't playing all three sports, that season they weren't playing something, they'd be in trouble and wouldn't be able to play the others.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some kids that play basketball just because they're like, if I don't, I'm going to get myself in trouble for baseball. Or if I don't, I'm going to do something stupid, So, I don't know.
Man, what you guys' thoughts on the contact day stuff? Oh, wait, I already know.
Well, you already know Coach Davis. We've already had this combo.
He didn't know that was a rule.
He didn't know that was a rule. He watched the show.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Now, back when you were coaching, it was the 2 weeks of camp or 2 weeks of camps. Or
he never had anything for just 2 weeks.
No, never.
No.
It's 1,000 shots a day, wasn't it?
Something? We're shooting every day.
That's when he had one of his assistant coaches, actually a parent, didn't hire him until later to open the gym, and that guy.
Well, that's why he had the 8 people on the bench. I mean,
who was the assistant coach?
You had your Wes Wagners. You had all these people that weren't teachers or anything.
They were gym openers.
Yeah, we played 60.
That's why they had the keys.
60 games in the summer. Oh yeah,
in 2 weeks.
Nothing.
He said 60 games.
Oh, that's nothing.
In 2 weeks, yeah, because that's how it used to be. When I first got into coaching, that was the rule, is you only get the 2 weeks of camp time with them in the summer. And I remember going, wait a minute, I went to South Iron. I was like, what, 2 weeks? Are you kidding me? How long has this been a rule? Like, it's been a rule for a long time. Oh, okay. All right, cool. And so when I started at Zama, we didn't even do that. I was like, we're going to practice. I practice every freaking day in the summer if I could.
Well, it's like Jason said, either they're there or they're out doing the stupid stuff.
That's exactly right.
That's the whole deal. I don't care what the rule is. I'm going to do what's best for kids. And their best thing is to be right. I don't care. I had wrestling kids come in. The wrestlers in the summer would play on leagues. They would play with us sometimes because they wanted to stay in shape. I didn't care. Anybody comes to the gym to play. And they just kept playing. But I'm not going to close it down and turn a kid away. I don't care what the rule is.
Well, I mean, even in a place like Zalma, number one, I'm like, if Dr. Erhan wants to drive down to Zalma and find me doing stuff, great, come find it. He might actually know because his brother worked up the road at Leopold. But I'm like,
my first year,
I don't even care. I mean, I want the kids there because otherwise they're out doing stuff. They're out drinking and doing crazy stuff at Zalma. That place is a little bit out in the woods.
It's funny you brought up Leopold. My first year,
oh man,
that's where I went to. Our jamboree was at Leopold.
Did you get depressed walking in the gym?
Dude, we went down a road and ended up in a gravel road because my bus driver took a wrong turn. I'm like, this school, I think we passed the school up there. It was that white building. And we got turned around.
It's by the church.
I couldn't believe she got turned around this little gravel road. And we pulled back up there, and sure enough, we drove right by the school and the gym. And we got in that old gym, and I was like, wow, this is crazy.
You don't remember who gave you that idea, do you?
It
was me,
yeah.
I was the one. Well, he was looking for a jamboree, and I knew Leopold. And I said, hey, Leopold, but that's a pretty good trip for you guys. And,
But I knew that I was taking over a program that had been pretty bad for a long time. At least I could go down there and compete. Except I think Delta might have been there or Oran.
Oran
was there. And Oran they were pretty damn good.
Yeah. Joe's had a good program since he shows up there.
I mean, we did actually compete okay in there, even though,
Hey, Leopold's gym, I mean, it's so blue. It's dark blue. And you walk in, I mean, the first time I looked there, I'm like, man, I don't know right now. I'm having like these thoughts of depression. It's funny. So dark. It's so little.
I didn't realize how many games I had coached, so I finally counted it. Oh. And I won't tell you how many losses because it's a lot. But I went back to watch a couple. During summer school, I watched a couple of old films. And I didn't realize, I always thought I beat South Iron. It was my third win. But no, my first ever win as a basketball coach was the 16 seed over South Iron, the 8th seed in the tournament that year, my first year ever coaching. So that was my first ever win as a basketball coach, was against South Iron there.
There you go.
I only won 3 games that year. It just felt like that I back in my head, I thought that was the last one we won. Well, we won a couple more later, but God, that was a long year. 3-23. Oh,
yeah, we know about that. That's tough. That's funny though. Dusty was 8-16 that year. That was the year I beat him too.
Was it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't beat him since. Don't worry.
Well, I've not played him since, so and I don't care to.
Yeah, they've had a good run there. They're still pretty good.
It's just funny that was my first ever win, and then I looked at my wins and losses, and I'm like, man, I'm not even at 100 wins yet.
My favorite memory is Coach Davis that first year going down to Marquand and being in that gym, and he's like, "What? They play basketball here?"
The sideline had about. Didn't you have about?
You were out of bounds when you were down in the corner shooting the 3.
Yeah.
No wonder they're pressing you. You can't throw it in because there's some kind of thing over the top.
There's a balcony.
And they want you to throw it on this side because the floor was like this.
The floor was heavy.
Yeah. So the referees come over and told us that. The wrong guy, and I'm like, what the heck's that?
The referees come over and told us that the floor is messed up over here. Yeah. And Trimmer was the coach that year at Marquand, so he takes us over and shows us the new gym, and it's like, we'd be playing here, but they ain't hung the basketball goals yet. Right. And I'm like, oh no,
you gotta be kidding me.
I'm like, because I know I've coached there, I've played there, and I'm like, I looked at him and I go, get ready for this, because I thought this gym was done.
Oh, the craziest press I've ever seen is the guy on the ball, so you can't throw it long because the thing's over your head. And then all 5 of his people are on this side of the floor, and you're thinking, what kind of press is that? They make you throw the ball right there, and then they pounce on you and chase you up the sideline, and that ball is going everywhere.
Yeah, because the floor's got waves in it.
Hey, that was nothing. I mean, one of my first years we were coaching, we played at Cardinal Ritter. The cheerleaders were cheering on the floor. My player was dribbling over here, and I thought, he's out of bounds. What are you doing over there? No, the cheerleaders are on the floor. Well, I look up to complain a little bit, and there's a lady keeping score changing a diaper. I mean, Preston, his name is Preston Thomas, one of my buddies, good friends. Preston. They're still good friends. Preston, what is going on? What's the deal? And he's laughed, and that was another hose job. That was a good one. That's it. They had Chris Carrawell and all those guys. So
they're okay.
It was not a pleasant time.
Was that when they had the big tall guy?
Jihadi White?
Jihadi White. So that was the year we won the state title, and Jihadi White and them were there dunking. Because we stayed and watched that game after we won it, and man, they were a highlight show.
Well, my first year as the head coach, we played Bayless in the district championship at Crystal, and if we would have won, we would have played Cardinal Ritter first round, and we lost by 5 to Bayless, so we went up and watched Bayless and Cardinal Ritter. And I think Bayless was up 11-7 at the start. Before Bayless scored again, it was 42-11. That's how. I mean, you had Carrawell and White. And
I put some crazy people on the schedule. I mean, one time we played Webster Groves at Webster Groves, and they had a kid named Sam Ivey and 3 other guys that were like, what did I get into? It was my second year of coaching. And you want to talk about getting destroyed. I mean, I'm not sure we should have came back out at halftime. It was bad.
Man, I tell you what.
I've had some bad times.
What's funny though is Coach Bidwell talks about playing Cardinal Ritter when he was at Portageville, and he's like, we just Mickey Mouse those guys to death. Took 2 charges on Jihadi White, and that was all she wrote.
But Portisville beat them that one year.
Beat them 2 years.
Nobody over 6 foot tall that one
That's
year.
right.
Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, he would have had a guy who would have been over 6 foot tall, and he got in trouble, and he kicked him off the team. Kind of same thing. Yeah. He's like, I'm here off the team.
Well, so Portageville, I went to college at Central Methodist, and one of the kids that beat Jihadi White, he had to guard him most of that game, went to Central Methodist. He was a football player, but he played basketball, and he said, we beat them. I'm like, no, oh my God.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Yeah. Down mental area.
Yeah, I don't think Jihadi White ever won a state championship. No. It was after he graduated, and then it was in 94, 95 when Carwell and Wood won it. And because I was a year South Iron, went to the Final Four when I was a little kid watching it, and I'm like, man, these guys are freaking insane. I remember watching those guys play, and I think it was my dad told me, he's like, hey, they had another guy who was even better who played the year before, and they didn't win. I'm like, what?
Yeah. No, my brother's coming up with all kinds of pit stories now. Now he said, funny story about the pit, John Struberg. You remember him at Festus? Yeah. Okay. He used to teach us how to shoot out of the elevator. I remember that as a little kid going to his camps. But anyway, he told us, he told them all not to dunk during warm-ups, or they would have to sit the whole game, and Glenn Casson and Chris Thompson both dunked in warm-ups, and Struberg yanked them off the floor during warm-ups, and they sat the whole game, and even halftime warm-ups, they had to sit on the bench while they were doing it.
Struberg was a stickler.
Wow.
Yep.
They were dunking on that one goal because it's too short.
He admits it.
I'm admitting it was too short.
That's why they were dunking on it.
Oh, yeah. That's why they were.
Well,
they were like, my God, we could dunk.
I think Dave was even trying.
Oh, I'm sure he was.
Oh, yeah.
He's an ass.
They just didn't catch him.
No, yeah, he was an ass.
Yeah. Well, now, hey, that rim at Pius on that far end, away from the stage, that used to be a little lower too.
I think I know it.
And then when they finally got, because when Trinity shut down, we got that one that hangs from the ceiling, and when we installed that changed.
He was trying to dunk.
I knew it.
I knew it. As soon as you said that, I knew it was too.
When they installed that goal, the goal that was attached to the wall was coming out of the wall. Like, there was, any time that somebody hit the rim hard or pulled down on it, little chunks of rock was falling out because that thing was about to come out.
Well, if you have rims like we do, but we're getting new ones. So
your rims are terrible.
We're gonna have brand new ones this year.
We'll see.
Wow. I just saw them. They're in the office. I held them.
Right. Well, are you putting them up?
I'm not putting them up.
I'll believe it when I see it. Then when they finally
they're going to be up. And
one goal it'll be on the
no, I'm not like
home side of the second half.
I know. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Stage side.
When they shoot the lights out second half,
he said he didn't get caught. He tried, but he didn't get caught. Yep.
I think I remember this.
You were probably trying to tell Struberg that he did.
Nah. If I knew he was going to do it, I would have.
That wouldn't happen.
I didn't talk to
sit him out the entire game.
Struber's kind of unapproachable. You never talked to him. I didn't talk to him. Before a game? No, one of these. No.
I'm not like that before a game unless I'm playing Chris.
No, we talked.
I know. I was just being.
We'll talk after the game.
Yeah, I never want to talk to Bruce after the game.
Before or after or during?
Oh, during
the game, he'll say a few words down to me.
Yeah, during the game, I've had conversations with this a-hole.
I'm personable. What can I say?
Now, me and Lawrence used to have conversations. God dang, he could never shut up during the game. Like, Eric, shut up.
Lawrence look at me, and he's like, you over there dancing with your kids? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just coaching. Shut up and worry about your own kids.
And he got mad at me the one time. He said, well, they were up 1 point. I think it was in the second or third quarter, they were up 1 point. 1 point, it's the first time I beat them. Well, I sat in a 2-3 zone. I wasn't coming out of it. So he just had the Thornton kids. I said, and he goes, well, we'll just do it the rest of the game. I said, Eric, your kids ain't patient enough to do that. And he's like, oh, we will. Sure as shit, about 5 minutes later. Thornton couldn't control. I mean, they went and shot, he couldn't. His kids wouldn't stay holding the ball. There's no way.
It's hard to find kids like that. Bruce, that's your kids would do that. They can hold the ball for a while.
No, we can't. We would throw it out of bounds or turn it over.
Well, you're the general manager. Can't you fix that?
Well, you think with the shot clock, you won't have to worry about it.
What? Real quick, real quick, because we got to go here. What's you guys' thoughts on the shot? For or against the shot clock? For or against?
I'm all for it.
All for it.
Yeah. Throw
Why?
it out there.
Why?
Speed the game up.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Tell them to let it fly.
Oh yeah.
Less opportunities for turnovers.
Yeah. Well, it's the fans want it. I mean, they don't want to see those kind of other games.
How do you get guys that are people are gonna run it? It's hard enough to put somebody
Well,
keep
you're going to have
book.
to practice a lot more than what you guys are practicing. I guarantee you that.
That's a shot at me. Don't worry. That's a shot at me.
All your drills are going to have to be full court. Push it, and use a lot of transition stuff.
It sounds like I have to scrimmage more.
Yeah. No, you can do that. You can do that in drills.
So,
you got to score, 17 points in a minute?
Something like that.
That one drill I got, to score 17 points in a minute.
Yep.
Boom, you get 1 minute, boom, 17. That's our goal.
What about you, Bruce?
I'm not sure yet.
It's still on the fence?
Yeah, I mean,
You're a flex guy.
one day I'm like, okay. Next day, I don't know, but it will be different, if we do. But really, I don't think the first 3 quarters would matter. A lot of teams, don't shoot the ball or hold the ball that long. But when you get to the late in the game, and you want to hold the ball, you won't be able to until 30 seconds, and then you got to shoot it or whatever. But
I got a theory, and this is only because after doing that D1 event where we ran the shot clock and they ran a 30-second clock, there was only 4 violations I saw in the probably 10 games I helped that I was running the clock that we had a shot clock violation. The rest of it, kids, they're shooting the ball quick, and it wasn't like it was one pass shoot it. Kids working the ball, things are good. But I think now with that rule change, now you have the 5 fouls, and now you're shooting 2. I think they're just paving the way for it. I mean, because realistically, you can't hold the ball now. You're not going to be able to.
No.
People are going to foul, and it's going to slow the game down. Now you got to find a way to speed it back up. Oh, we'll just add the shot clock.
But what really worries me is who's going to keep that shot clock.
Well, you'll
you get into a situation.
Just put an extension cord on it, and then you just run it while you're standing there.
Well, I'll do it if nobody else wants to do it. I'll do it because what worries me, though, what happens late in the game,
you're right.
One of us shoots the ball. Let's say we shoot it. We don't hit the rim because it's so close. They put 30 back on the clock. What's going to do? Is that referee going to stop the game and say, wait, that was an air ball, or sorry, I didn't see it either?
So this is funny you say that, because I asked the same thing on like the first game, and they had some like D2, D3 high school and then high school referees. They're actually doing a clinic, and they were doing all the stuff with the clock. And when our because we had one person doing the clock and one person doing the shot clock, and when that person messed up on the shot clock, in that same situation happened twice, they stopped it. They said, run it down to this. It didn't hit. And then whoever had the ball, and they took it out, and I was like, well, that's interesting, because I just thought they just let it go.
Then I think about, when football started their 40-second clock, everybody was the same way. Who's going to run it? Well, as time went along, it runs pretty good now. You don't really have many. Some games you do, where they may not start that 40-second clock right away. So that's what worries me with basketball. Will they start that 30-second clock right away?
Sometimes it's really late for one team, and then it started really soon for another team.
And that's home court advantage, Jason. Home field advantage, home court advantage.
I wasn't saying at Perryville either. I
was just saying.
But I wasn't surprised. I didn't really look at it. They were at Perryville this year, in football.
About another 2 plays, you probably would have beat us that late in the game there.
Well, my son had a freaking holding call that cost us a touchdown. So, that was early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Barr went for 6 and came back.
It happens.
So like I said, it's going to be here sooner,
It will be.
Yeah.
It will be.
It's going to put more pressure on the officials.
Definitely. It gives them more things to worry about.
You'll like that, right?
Well, depends on if I'm at home or I'm away.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
That's right, because it's all about home court advantage.
Well, yeah.
Well,
we'll just schedule all home games then. Is that the way? May have to get back into AD and just to do all home games then.
Yep.
There you go. Hey, if you ain't got a shot clock, it's whatever point when they say they have it, you got it. You can't have any home
games. If you get enough fans coming to the game, they can make the call.
So what you're saying is that I need to tell Herky, just to go ahead and put them up here when we make this new gym?
I would. Why not? Otherwise, you're just gonna have to add it later.
Yeah.
Might as well just go
it's
for it.
It's going to come eventually.
It'll be here.
Yeah.
And then when they get to high school sports in 20 years, it ain't gonna matter anyway. Your gym's just gonna be rented out to the AU team.
Won't matter to me. I won't be around.
Oh,
Weston will be, but not me.
You be gone. You'll be gone.
I won't be coaching.
Oh, I thought you meant like you'll be gone, like the.
Well, let's hope not.
Over the Rainbow Bridge.
I hope I'm not over the Rainbow Bridge in 20 years. Damn.
Hey, let's don't be talking about 20 years and over the Rainbow Bridge.
Well, that's be 67 and 20. I'd be your age, right?
Yeah, you will. Yeah, 20. You'd be my age. You're right.
I don't know how old you are.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
No,
Man.
Yeah.
You are 67?
Yeah.
You know
that old?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He never would tell me. He told me all different ages.
Yeah, I think so. I think I am.
Years.
Yeah.
He thinks he is, so he must be older than 67.
I'm hoping.
He has no idea.
I really don't. He'll tell you the truth. He knows my wife will tell me.
No, Julie. He has to ask Julie all these questions.
I don't care about
He
that
doesn't
kind
care
of
about
crap.
that. No.
No.
Just basketball, and that's it. No
that's all.
rules.
That's all.
No, he's all farm.
Farming,
I'm
basketball.
trying to get into the farm thing, but there's no money. The East and West Coast are killing us in the Midwest on our farms, so I'm kind of
Here he
backing out of the
goes.
farm thing.
Man, we didn't even get into politics today.
Green Acres, huh? Green Acres?
Don't even get me started on that.
Oh,
He's been telling me he's going to sell all those cows for the last decade that I've been around him. Don't even listen to
Hey,
it.
that's the reason I come on the show. I'm probably going to run for office or something.
We could shoot a commercial for that.
no, Dave said he's older
Who?
than 67,
Oh,
I guess.
might be.
That's what Dave said.
I'll just text Julie later to find
Thanks.
out.
Thanks, Dave.
Hey, it's a good thing that you guys have such great wives put up with you guys. I just got to tell you, that's the one thing for sure. They have to. Cause,
I do too.
well, for sure,
Yes, I
because
do.
you're a big pain in the butt.
Hey, she tells me where I'm going, when we're going on vacation. She tells.
Now, wait. She's like your manager because I had to make sure that you were going to be on the show. Did I
Yeah.
text you a single time? Absolutely not. Number
Didn't?
one, I didn't have a secret decoder ring to read your text.
Okay, second.
Second, I knew she would tell you when you were going to be there.
She told me I had to be here and what time.
That's exactly
And
right.
where?
And where.
That's right.
Yep. And hey, wait, she even had clothes laid out to wear.
Do you have a flip phone still, or what?
No,
I don't have a phone on me.
Right. He probably does. It's in the truck.
Oh, it's in the truck.
I didn't drive the truck. I drove her car, so yeah, I don't have one.
Because it got GPS.
What? GPS?
Never mind. It's like a map that's digital in your car.
That's a story for another day.
That's a story for another day. So great. Anyway, thank you guys for coming on the show and filling in for those two losers.
If we could get these two guys more often, these other two losers could just quit coming.
Oh, there we go. That'd be a lot of fun. We come out to the farm and shoot. We'll come down to Perryville and do the show.
Oh, only if we're going down Mary Jane's.
Now, I'm down for that. If you can arrange for us to do a show at Mary Jane's, we will do a show down there.
Oh, I would definitely do a show in Perryville.
And I would do some talking.
And I probably wouldn't talk any shit about Perryville because I'd be sitting at Mary Jane's.
No, as long as I know you, you've always had a comment about Perryville somehow.
That's where I started my teaching, right there in Perryville. I wouldn't know about the private school thing. So
You were with the Pirates.
Yes, I was a pirate.
Your brother says he prefers these guys being on the show.
I'm sure he does.
Of course he would. Well, hell, he's been on the show. We didn't have anybody else's. What? Me, you, him?
Well, that was the Jughead show.
That was, man. That was interesting having both of those two on the show, let me tell you.
Whoa.
So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of The Coach's Box. We will probably be off next week for the 4th of July for the holiday, so make sure you guys have a good, safe 4th of July holiday with your family, and don't hold the firecrackers too long in your hand, otherwise you end up like Pierre Paul or whatever his name is.
St. Paul or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Tried
Have
to
3
think of him
fingers
the other day.
And you don't want to do that. So
No,
it's bad. I know.
There's so many things I want to say.
I know. It's late. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Another episode. We will see you guys in a couple weeks. Again, have a great holiday with your family. Be safe. God bless. Good night.